Stakes, the traditional feature on Boxing Day at Caulfield. Racing. Marabi jumped away, one of the best, with Sartorial Splendor away game and Rain Beal. Outlaw's Revenge not too far away, and Grandview Avenue's driving up on the inside with Ancestry. Sartorial Splendor is going to sear across and lead Grandview Avenue, Marabi, and then came Ancestry, Outlaw, Arsafel as they reach the 650. Further back in the field, away game, Excess Funds, Curran, Morrissey, Prezado, Vainstream, Shamino. Sartorial Splendor's gone very hard at the 400, led Marabi a length and a quarter. Then Grandview Avenue, 2 lengths, Ancestry, Rain Beal, Munitions, and then Outlaw's Revenge away game, Parsifal, Excess Funds, Curran, Morrissey and Prezado. Marabi moves up and takes the lead for Carr, who clicks her up, and at the 200 metres she puts up 2, she puts up 3 on Sartorial Splendor. Rain Beal away game late, but Marabi, she's off and gone. She's 3 in front of away game, and Marabi just clicked up near the line, will take the Christmas Stakes, a half away game. Parsifal third, and fourth Rain Beal. Then Outlaw's Revenge and Curran from Munitions. Next to finish, Morrissey, Shamino, Ancestry Avenue.
Well, we haven't seen a mare win at Christmas Stakes for 6 years. The last to do it with Tuscan Sling back in late 2015. She returned in the summer months here to win a Belmain and a Mannerism. Marabi's got bigger targets in mind. That qualifies her for the Oakley Plate in 2 months' time. And on the basis of what we just... And the measuring stick for that is the flying performance late from the classy away game, who's got the Magic Millions in a couple of weeks' time in her sights as well. Lot to lot. The top two, Mar Eustace, assert their dominance with 2 really classy mares. Marabi, 5 for 5.
She's a big team effort, and well done.
Yeah, wow, she's a fast filly. She feels like she's at her top, and she just finds off of it. Like she just gives you this really good feel. I felt like I was almost at my top, and I gave her a little bit of a click, and she just, like I said, she just finds off of a hot tempo. And she was still strong late. I was just kind on her, but look, she's going places, and all she can do is win in that.
Well, welcome back to the glorious Gold Coast. This is it. This is the big one, the 2-year-old Magic Millions Classic. $2 million on offer. Possibly every monopoly as far as the favourite is concerned. She's been Coolangatta, has been favourite since Marcus opened, Maxie.
Yes, since that.
Gatta, Kieran Maher, David Eustace and Jay McDonald.
She looks as if she's got a game face on. She's all business. She's got 2 strappers, and I think everything is pretty much perfect for her. And just looking at her physique, I think, well, 2 from 2. Well, we don't know where the ceiling is, and she dominated that race at Randwick when getting those side winkers on, and gee, she should map pretty well.
Number 1 being chased by Tim Clark.
Yeah, well, she's the one that seems to just do everything right. She seems to be improving every time. She's got a will to win. We've seen in her short career to date.
Gate 10, the fave. We're right. They're racing in the Magic Millions. And Stick Cat the inside jumped away well. Sneaky the starter is going forward. Russian Conquest right up there as well. And also Coolangatta is handy. She's 3 wide. She's improving. She's up to 4th now. And Miss Hellfire's gone forward as well. So Sneaky starter led the way from Miss Hellfire, sharing 3rd. Russian Conquest and Coolangatta the outside. Cusack, Stick Cat, Soaring Ambition, Perfect Mission, Fell Well, Bright Blue Sky, Mashani Warfare, Heroic Sun, Golden Artie. Further back here is Stupendo, Mashani Spartan. Last of all is Mashani Persuasion. So it's Sneaky started with the lead from Coolangatta 3 wide. She's right there at the 450 in company there with Miss Hellfire. Soaring Ambition further back, and then we've got Russian Conquest. Also, Cusack and Thelwell is back near the inside, but here comes Coolangatta. Coolangatta's dashed up and taken the lead. Trying hard as Russian Conquest. She's making ground. Coolangatta the leader. Russian Conquest on the outside. Coolangatta, Russian Conquest. Coolangatta, Russian Conquest the outside. Coolangatta has held on to win for Russian Conquest. Third will be Stick Cat, I'd say, just ahead of Perfect Mission, followed by Mashani Warfare, Heroic Sun, Golden Artie, Sneaky Starter, Stupendo. Further back was Soaring Ambition, and then Mashani Spartan, followed by Mashani Persuasion, Thelwell, Miss Hellfire, and Cusack has pulled up at the rear in company with Bright Blue Sky.
Coolangatta Gold. What a great performance by this filly. Great ride by James McDonald. Russian Conquest put it to her 100 out. The Maideness Snitzcat, lobs into 3rd, and back and forth.
in the 2022 Magic Millions.
Yeah, an extraordinary ride, and he really had to work with her on the home turn up and get the best out of her. So extraordinary. I'm just looking through this crowd now here at the Gold Coast. It's time for the 3-year-old guineas now. This one's over 1,400 metres. Jamea has been the favourite for some time, continues to be in what...
No, she was due to run in Menudgee, but we got that heavy downpour down to a heavy 10, so they didn't go back, and then let's see what happens. Blinkers went on her in the gold edition. She came from last there and swamped the member straight. She was past to run.
James for terrific coverage at Tumut. 8th event from the Gold Coast is the 3-year-old guineas for $2 million. King of Sparta's off a closing third in the Gosford Guineas. First up, Gator.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he? He really attacked the line there. He handles wet ground, but his best runs for mine have been when he's on top of the ground, and he does look suited.
Good line. Racing, release the beans out the back. Glorious Ruby began well with the snits on fire. Handy there is Miss Hipstar with Socialist back near the inside. Dovetail Diva is going forward. Starman, Rhapsody Rose into Discreetly's out 3 and 4 wide, pressing on as well. And come away from Indiscreetly. A length and a half away third, Rhapsody Rose, and fourth the outside Starman. Ruby Kisses out 3 wide going forward. Snits on fire, followed by Shahonka 3 wide. Glorious Ruby. And then we've got just in behind those as Miss Hipstar and Socialist, and then Far Too Easy, King of Sparta, Jamea, followed further back in the run then by Constructed, Meme Lagarde, Bend the Knee, Release the Bands, I Am Lethal at the 350. Dovetail Diva led the way by a length and a half from Rat City Rose into Discreetly, and further back at Snits on Fire, Socialist, and coming down the outside, here's King of Sparta and Meme Lagarde. King of Sparta has taken the lead. Meme Lagarde's out after King of Sparta, but King of Sparta's in front from Meme Lagarde, and King of Sparta's won from Meme Lagarde. A photo third either Socialist or Far Too Easy, followed by Shahonka, Dovetail Diva, Starman, I Am Lethal, Release the Banes, Jamea, Glorious Ruby, Miss Hipstar, Rhapsody Rose, followed further back by Snits on Fire, Bend the Knee, Indiscreetly, Construct a long way back, and Ruby Kisses pulled up at the rear.
Oh, yeah.
Well, wind the clock back 12 months. King of Sparta for Peter and Paul. Snowden scoring. Something similar happened with AIM last year. Charging home down the outside for the Snowdens. And Nashua Willer.
Right, Maxie, just an explosive win from King of Sparta. We know that turn of foot's there. The pressure went right on. Nash got the timing spot on the mark, and the King has exploded. Congrats to our colleague Ronnie Duffy. He bred this horse. He'll be cheering. Good luck, Ronnie. Well done. Number 11, Meme Lagarde, enormous in second, and a close photo there.
We'll bring you those later. 3, King of Sparta takes out the 3-year-old guineas. 3, 11, 18 and 5. Here's Rosehill.
Field of 5, as we talked about before. Philosopher is your favourite at $1.80, so starting to shorten up ahead of the second favourite, which is Rampant Lion, which is on the drift at the moment out to $3.
Lion drifting also from its earlier price, now getting out to around that $4 mark. The late money in the past 10 minutes is starting to trend towards Dormier into $6.
Big day in Melbourne, they're off and racing. Philosopher jumped fairly with Rampant Line. Dormier actually won the start. Philosopher will go through and join him from Rampant Line, Throne Bone. And Michelotti dragged back to last of all. Philosopher got his own way pretty easily as they race up to the 600 metres mark. 2 lengths on the stablemate, which is Dormier at the moment, a length away Rampant Line. He's about to come out 3 wide for car and go after Philosopher, who's had a pretty easy time of it from Throne Bone, and Michelotti's under pressure. On the corner now, Philosopher in front. Domier's looming up on the outside. Rampant Line made a line of 3. Philosopher, Oliver has to go for him. He's a half in front. Rampant Line throwing down the challenge. Philosopher's got a battle. Domier strong the centre. Philosopher, Rampant Line, Domier. Rampant Line, Domier are the 2. Domier's doing the better. Rampant Line trying to get to Domier. Domier in front. He might be pretty good, this bloke. Domier a half length, Rampant Line. Third is Philosopher. They're followed by Throne Bone and Michelotti last in.
Domier, the second of the Freedman runners, and the pick of the yard from Nick Ashman, and Terry Bailey mentioned how good he looked going out from the yard onto the track. So it is the numbers 4, 2 and 1. The 3 in the betting have won the finished 1, 2, 3. It's more competitive betting race than we saw in the first with the boys. So $3.80 for Letizia. Jewelry $4.40. I'm Loving You is at $7.50. Satin Love at $8.50.
Or just getting out of touch, and one of those is Jewelry out at $4.80. But look at the money for I'm Loving You into $6.50. Bistro on the drift out to $9, and Satin Love at $10. So
Racing, I'm loving you only fairly out of the gate. It's going to drop back a little bit. Going out of the machine, Letizia, Miss Rosiano began well. Waltz on by and Bistro's heading them all off, and Berry Bubbly's burrowing through. Letizia couldn't get in. On the fences, Written Swoosh from Queen May Poema. Then came Satin Love. Well back is Ifar. They're followed by I'm Loving Ya. And last of all is Jewelry past the 600 metres mark. And it's Miss Rosiano in front, leading Letizia, working up on its outside from Berry Bubbly, Bistro. Waltz on by making ground. Then came Written Swoosh, Satin Love. Jewelry will have to come to the extreme outside. Heads turn for home. Miss Rosiana left the fence. There's a run. Bistro moving up on the outside. Letizia. Waltz on by and Written Swoosh behind those looking for a run from Berry Bubbly. No Jewelry. Miss Rosiana still in front of Letizia. Written Swoosh is about to dive through in the centre. It's still in front. Miss Rosiana. Written Swoosh coming through. Miss Rosiana burns them with pace and wins it a half length. Written Swoosh has run second. Third, Letizia maybe from Waltz on by, but it's a photo. Then came Bistro. Jewelry found it too short. I'm Loving You, missed it at the start. They're followed by Satin Love, a fair way back Poema, Berry Bubbly, Ifa, and last of all is Queen Maeve.
Unwanted in the betting, Miss Rosiano. Peter Galagotis, the first starter by Exceed Nixel. Special Lover showed that Exceed Nixel speed. Forget the price. Just jumped out, got to the front, was challenged not once but 3 or 4 times.
And Marabi is your odds-on favourite. $1.85, just hasn't really budged. $1.75 went up Wednesday night, got to $1.90, but just been hovering around that mark. And today, all throughout betting, just holding that price of $1.80. So positive signs are you if you are with.
All right, that's Tarath, and now we get to our race favourite. Marabi, 5 starts, 5 wins, undefeated at 1,100 and 1,200. Last start was the Christmas Stakes. Very impressive at a short price, and, well, you got Marabi on top.
No, I don't, and I think she's a bit short. I think there's 2 genuine queries. I mean, you've got going to
1,200, but at that sort of price, I'd rather take something small at the $11 than, you know, have to have a significantly larger bet at the $1.85 to get the same result.
Spell, but Sinner One looked absolutely magnificent. He is in for a fantastic campaign, no doubt.
$1.85, $1.90 all throughout betting since Wednesday afternoon. So positive sign for this mare taking on this class of racing for the first time as it just ticks into $1.80. Outside of that early money for Wild.
Ready to go. Signal racing in the Australia Stakes, and Cinnawon was slow, missed it a couple. Going back to second last is Wild Planet. Marabi sprung beautifully. Straight to the lead by a length, Maria Mia Lightsaber, followed by Tarath and Streets of Avalon. A length and a quarter order of command, Just Folk Vein Stream. Towards the end of the field then is Cinnawon from Gamekeeper, and at the end of the field is Wild Planet. Off the back section at the 800 metres, it's Marabi by about a neck, Maria Mia. 2 lengths, Lightsaber, Streets of Avalon. A couple of lengths to Rath, and then Order of Command, Vein Stream, 2.5, Cinnawon, Just Folk, Wild Planet, Gamekeeper at the end of the field. 550 metres to run. It's Marabi in front, 3/4 of a length, Maria Mia. Vein Stream, 4 deep, staking a claim. Lightsaber in that group, a length away to Rath. Then came Streets of Avalon, Order of Command, Cinnawon from Wild Planet, Just Folk. Marabi now with that turn of foot at the 250, and race clear. Marabi, 200 to go, put 4 legs, 5 legs, Lightsaber to Rath. Cinnawon late from Maria Mia, but Marabi, 100 metres to go, 4 legs in front from Cinnawon flying, but she destroys them. Marabi won it, ease down 2.5, Cinnawon to Rath, Lightsaber. Then Streets of Avalon, Maria Mia, Wild Planet, Just Folk, Order of Command, Vein Stream. Gamekeeper was last to finish, and Marabi has emphatically answered the Group 2 question.
Oh, yes, and has she answered it beautifully, Matt. She joins the greats, as you talked about before the race. Scalacci, Black Caviar. What a performance. 5 straight becomes 6 straight. Don't worry about whether the inside is chopped up. Just worry about whether the other runners can catch this flying machine. She is absolutely flying, and the world is her oyster. Marabi beats Cinnawon, who...
2022, that is some win. Against, you know, there's some decent opposition there today, and Marabi was just in a league of her own. She got that great gate speed, led up, and when the button was pushed, she was just emphatic in her response. Wow, that was quite incredible, Zed.
It was exciting.
Feature event this afternoon here at Rosehill Gardens, the Group 2 Expressway Stakes over the 1,200 metres to kick off the first leg of the quaddie. And this mounting yard is brought to you by Harvey.
A race from a speed perspective that's definitely up for grabs, and we'll see who's going to go forward and try to take it up.
Stakes, the Group 2 field is underway, and Bellucci, Babe and Forbidden Love jump well and overpass the outside. Overpass, moving up on the outside of Forbidden Love, and there's a real commitment here by Tim Clark to take the lead. Overpassed by 2 on Forbidden Love, followed by Bellucci, Babe, Tiger Malay. Came Forbidden Love. Tiger Malay's off the fence. Superior deeper out from Standout, and Anamo's wedged between runners. 4 lengths off the lead. 600 out. Overpass held together by Clark. 3/4 to Bellucci, Babe. Tiger Malay without cover. Then Forbidden Love fourth the rails. Further back to Standout, Anamo, and Superior in the outside, yielding ground. So the Colts into the clear. No Anamo. Overpassed at the 350. 2 lengths clear from Bellucci, Babe. Anamo brushed there with Tiger Malay. Standout in the middle. It's overpass going well from Forbidden Love. Bellucci, Babe, Anamo, 2 off them. He's trying hard. He's running out of time though. Overpass still in front. Forbidden Love off the fence with a late challenge. Overpass kicks though. Overpassed it all the way. Overpass beat Forbidden Love and a half length away to Anamo. Then Bellucci, Babe from Superior, Standout, and Tiger of Malay was last in.
Overpass takes out the Expressway Stakes. A fantastic ride from Tim Clark. He read the play early on. He went to the lead. He controlled the race, and he really gave nothing else a chance. Forbidden Love.
He gets the job done in the Expressway. Forbidden Love was great. Animo, terrific return for mine. He just wasn't his race. He got off.
This is back-to-back wins in the race. He's $1.35, so... yeah, he's got into a very short quote here. Camel Passer is the second pick. Of course, Behemoth trained by David Jolly. Camel Passer by his brother Richard, along with Richard's daughter Chantel.
Morfordville gates open, they're off. Prezado was a little slow. Kenyan Wonder, Mongolian Marshal likewise. Camel Passer came out humming. So too Morvada, and they share the speed early. Champagne Dreams has pushed through to be third. Behemoth settles down in fourth. Mongolian Marshal, 600 metres to run, and Camel Passer gets it the way he wants it, easily on the lead. He's looking to do a Durbridge in the Durbridge Stakes. Camel Passer, Behemoth now rolling to second. Champagne Dreams leaders back. Morvada's wedged in. Kenyan Wonder, Port Vale, Prezado, Mongolian Marshal, they swing for home, and Camel Passer dashes now for the judge. Camel Passer, Behemoth out in the middle, starting to put in the big strides. Morvada, Kenyan Wonder, and then further back Port Vale, Champagne Dreams. Camel Passer's kicking strongly. Behemoth hasn't got to him yet. Camel Passer fending off Behemoth. Camel Passer goes on to win the Durbridge, defeats Behemoth. Third place is Champagne's Dreams from Morvada, and then Kenyan Wonder, Port Vale, Mongolian Marshal, and Prezado.
So Camel Passer, he rolls over Behemoth for the first time in their countless clashes they've had. Champagne Dreams gets up to pinch third. Well, you had a game plan. It didn't quite work out the way you thought to try and maybe get that result.
No, but the good thing is he slowed them right down. Morvada didn't want to lead, so he got the lead softly.
Strike at 12, Philosopher at third.
Well, I think second, third, fourth, fifth, I'd be a bit worried about them. Yes, the horse did come home pretty good last 400, 200. Gate 1 might not be a big plus for this horse either. So the market's taking a little bit of a set against it, and they're happy to be with Count the Headlights. Again, not overall around $7. Philosopher, bit of support for this horse. $18 bet, now into $12. So a bit of support
there, and certainly made my life very hard to pick an out-and-out standout. But for me, Lofty Strike, very well.
One favourite for
and away they go. And from the inside, Jacquino was away only fairly at best. Philosopher jumped away quickly with Semillion. Crowning Moment about a length off those in third early. And then came Dormier in the blue jacket. Further back in the field, Count the Headlights, who sits on the outside of Lascars from well back Lofty Strike, River Ribble, and last Jacquino. So the clear leader is Philosopher at the 600 metres by over 2 lengths. Semillion. Third on the outside is Crowning Moment. And then came Dormier. there. Count the Headlights. Next, Lasker's Lofty Strike, River Ribble. Last, Jacquinot with a bit to do. Around the turn at the 400 metres. It's Philosopher, 2 lengths a million. Dormier the inside, then Crowning Moment. Further back, now Jacquinot's going to stick to the inside, is making up some ground. Count the Headlights with work to do, and Lofty Strike down the middle's coming home hard. Dormier up on the inside with Semillion, and Lofty Strike the outside at the 100. Semillion grabbed by Lofty Strike. Lofty Strike for Jamie Mott took the front. Lofty Strike got it from Semillion. Third a photo. Dormier will get it from Count the Headlights, and Jacquinot, who was wedging through, didn't have a lot of luck in the straight. A gap to River Ribble, then came Philosopher, Laskers, and last Crowning Moment.
Oh, Charlotte Littlefield's got the iron to start the Festival of Racing. Nails it from the yard at a price. Lofty Strike. Jamie Mott, there was a touch of arrogance and a little bit of perhaps concern if you're aboard the Julius Sandu runner as they were approaching the home turn, as he went wide enough to almost see Caulfield Station. But in the end, a touch of class ridden out by Jamie Mott.
Today's Blue Diamond Preludes, first of all, for the boys. Lofty Strike, making it 2 from 2 off a Flemington victory. Rounded them up here under the riding of Jamie Mott. English Banner winner Semillion was second. And then the debutant victors, Dormier, Count the Headlights, and Jacquinot, were in a clutch together, 3rd through 5th, and look like they need 1,200.
Exactly, and one of the big talking point, obviously, Jacquinot missing the start, but the winner was back there as well. There was good tempo to the race. You asked what we learnt earlier, Nigel. Well, probably after yesterday, we learnt that there wasn't as much between the boys and the girls as we first thought, and also Philosopher went...
A huge opinion of. His work through the line indicates that 1,200 metres is no problem.
Yeah, definitely. Even physically, he looks like a 3-year-old miler already. So the distance of the Blue Diamond is only going to be his best friend. Jacquinot, you can't miss a start like that in a Blue Diamond and expect to be able to get over the top of them. So hopefully he irons out that, but this horse, this winner.
And so you'd imagine she...
Riviera, and she was just a standout. She's one of the bigger fillies in the field, and just really liked how relaxed she was. She didn't have a fleck of sweat on her, and in a
really competitive betting race. Got as short as $3.70 in, now back out to $4.50. Did get as big as $4.80 and just trimmed up in the last 5 minutes, Miss Rosiano. But still solid support throughout for the favourite. No diggity, this has been a really good go throughout the day. As I say, $13 bet, $9.50 this morning at 9 a.m, $6, and now into $5. Slowly run race last.
Set. Gates are back and racing. Varvia away fairly. Showing speed, Letizia the outside with Miss Rosiano. Satin Love and English Riviera along the inside's going to lead them. El McPherson is also driving through at Bolter's odds, about 2 lengths. Kiki Express. They were followed by one off the fence, Varvia. A couple of lengths away, Revolutionary Miss outside of Moko, then Bon Her, 7 Sisters, No Diggity, CU, and last of all Sumatra. English Riviera was at the 600 metres, steadied by a half length Miss Rosiano. El McPherson third the inside. They were followed by Satin Love easing out 3 deep. Letizia as a result 4 deep from Kiki Express. They were followed next by Varvia, Revolutionary Miss Moko, Bon Her, well back 7 Sisters, No Diggity, CU, and also Sumatra. English Riviera given her head at the 200 metres. Miss Rosiano's trying to dig in, then Letizia down the outside, and Revolutionary Miss is running on. Miss Rosiano at the 50. Revolutionary Miss has got her. Revolutionary Miss has won from Miss Rosiano. English Riviera for 4th, 7 Sisters Prominent from Bon Her, and then Moko, and also in between them Varvia. Behind them Kiki Express. Letizia pulls up quickly, No Diggity, and then came Satin Love, CU, and at the end of the field was El McPherson.
Yep, those Russians are going okay, all right. 4, 1, 8, 10 are the numbers in the fillies Prelude. Revolutionary Miss, masterstroke placement from the Snowden team. 2 runs in Sydney. The latest...
Snowden Michael D took the ride with this Russian Revolution filly coming to town off 2 runs in Sydney. The most recent of them in the Group 3, Widden behind runaway winner Queen of the Ball, who was very impressive in that performance. This race has provided the Diamond winner. 4 winners of this in the past 10 years have gone on to win the Diamond. Miss Rosiano was pretty stout again on speed for the Galagotis team in second. It was a gap to third with English Riviera. Bon Her, perhaps the one finishing off best, similar to the...
For those who backed her.
Yeah, let alone anything that's the progeny of Russian Revolution, who's made a real quick impact as a sire.
Yeah, I mean, she'd posted really good sectionals last start, of course, on arguably a biased track. And look, it was an interesting race because I think Miss Rosiana, I mean, I thought it was still a very good run. I thought she was terrific. English Riviera was also good. And you mentioned a couple running against each other that could potentially turn the tables with the right run in the race. And once again, Michael, there's not really one that's standing up at the moment going, I am the one to beat.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing with...
And it's a small field, but, geez, it's been a really good betting race. Equal favourites at the moment here with Sportsbet. Artorias, $3.70 first up, and Marine One, the fit horse, on the up with 54 kilos. They're both at $3.70. Marine One probably in the last 20 minutes.
Holder of world's best sprinter in Nature Strip, who adds their name to the honour roll in 2022 in the Rubiton, Hutch?
I think it's a good chance for Marine One. I just think the fit horse
in the yard, but the two most compact, fast-looking horses are definitely the two in the market there, and I thought Artorias on top for me today. He just looked out.
Especially in the last half an hour for this horse on the bottom weight with Jamie Carr in the saddle. Yeah, I think I agree with Hutchie. I think it settles in the first two or three.
Racing, ingratiating away fairly. It was the last out. Out wide, Sword of Mercy began speedily with Mr. Mozart and Oxley Road. Just behind those, Marine One. Then Extreme Flight, ingratiating Artorias last. Onto the course proper, 8.50 out. Sword of Mercy off the rails, joined and headed off by Oxley Road. Marine One a length and a half away third. Then Mr. Mozart, ingratiating, picking off a couple, fifth the fence. Then came Extreme Flight, last Artorias. Oxley Road controlling this at the moment. 600 to go, 3/4 Sword of Mercy. 2 lengths Marine One, one off the fence in air at the moment. Then ingratiating Mr. Mozart, Extreme Flight, Artorias. Oxley Road is just quickening it up now around the corner at the 300 metres. Nolan hasn't moved. Led a length, Sword of Mercy, Marine One. Then ingratiating, needing to get out. And further back, Mr. Mozart. Artorias a long way back. Oxley Road from Sword of Mercy. Marine One the outside. Oxley Road at the 100. Sword of Mercy is hanging tough, and Marine One comes at them both and will win. Marine One scored a length. Oxley Road, Sword of Mercy. Late Extreme Flight was an eye-catcher for fourth. Artorias ingratiating next. And last of the 7 in the Rubiton was Mr. Mozart.
So it's the horse with the fitness through the summer months, gets the job done in some familiar colours for some familiar owners as Aussie Keir and John O'Neill enjoy the spoils of victory with their son of capitalists. And again, he is now badged as a Group 2 winning sprinter, taking out the Rubiton. It'll be interesting to chat to Dave.
Contesting it, and this has been another exemplary training performance from the Mar Eustace operation to bring this horse, Hutch, from a Swan Hill maiden in late September. Effectively space his runs out at sort of 4 and 5 week intervals. Pakenham Cup, Caulfield around the early part of the new year, and grab a Group 2 yesterday.
Yeah, he had fitness on his side, and a couple of them didn't, but, you know, some of them had raced well fresh anyway. But, look, I thought it was a nice ride from Jamie. She just took the sit behind an even tempo, and you can see...
That race, and Hutch, I'm interested to know who you, out of this race, would like to be on next time.
I don't know, but I think Artorias is interesting. I mean, just for those at home that want to know the sectionals, or daily sectionals, he's run home in some unbelievable times. Best 6.42 of the day, 10.68 his final 200. So, Michael, he's got an engine, but he just keeps... He can't sort of stay in touch in those early stages, and he keeps doing the same thing all the time.
How frustrating is he, though? Like, I heard Sam Friedman after last preparation say, we think he's just a run-on sprinter, get back run-on sprinter. But then you watch his races like that, he looks like he wants 1,400 metres a mile, but then they get there and he doesn't run that trip. So what do you do as a trainer? It must be so frustrating.
I still don't know what his best trip is. I think he might be able to sort of run on 1,100 metre horse, but I'm not sure.
Based on what we saw in the Coolmore and the profile of 3-year-old sprinters this time of year, to me the Newmarket is the obvious target for him, whether it's they go straight there, or maybe they use the Oakley Plate as the conduit to that race.
The Futurity and the All-Star Mile. We'll look at connections of the other horses if this horse is a bit underdone, because the market still thinks this horse is right there. Behemoth can't knock it from a market perspective. Just to see where Jamie Carr gets from that gate, bit tricky, but expected to roll forward. $5.50. Tafani a little bit soft, 7 out to $7.50. Lighthouse the same, around that $10 mark. And Lightsaber, early support for
5 years ago. Who adds their name in 2022 in the All, Hutch?
Good question. It's a tough one. I think there are a stack of chances, but Sinner one for me. I think it's been a plan for some time.
Who just thrives at Caulfield at the 1400 metres. He's going to be very hard to topple, and he gets the conditions to suit. So happy to go with Behemoth here.
Because I am also with Behemoth. I just thought he kept himself so well composed today.
Good support in the last 10 minutes for Behemoth. I expect this horse to roll forward. It's around that $4.40, so that's a positive sign there. I'm thunderstruck, just around that $5.50. I think you'll get a little bit better, $6 by the time these barriers open. Tafani, rock solid around that $7, got out to $8, back into $7.50. A Lighthouse
has them, and they're racing at the 1400, and Lightsaber dwelt and missed it 2 lengths. Inspirational Girl goes back to second last alongside of Secret Blaze. Tafane broke well, straight to the lead from Behemoth the outside. Just Folk next, and Sierra Sue on the improve. Lighthouse the rails, a couple of lengths. Sinawon 3 deep around Wild Planet and Cascadian. Then I'm Thunderstruck, Secret Blaze, Inspirational Girl, Lightsaber last. Off the back section, 950 out. And the leader, Tafani, 3/4 of a length to the big man, Behemoth. 2.5 lengths, Sierra Sue and Lighthouse. A couple of lengths to Just Folk, Cascadian. Then came next Sinawon, with Wild Planet keeping it a little bit wide. 1.5 lengths, I'm Thunderstruck and Secret Blaze. Second last, Inspirational Girl, and Lightsaber is at the end of the field. So they come towards the 500 metres, where Tafani just tries to string them out a little bit more from Behemoth. Then Sierra Sue now 3 deep. Further back in the field, Lighthouse. Then came Cascadian, niggled at from Just Folk. Sinawon was 6 to make up. Then Wild Planet, I'm Thunderstruck, and Inspirational Girl. Tafane kicks away. 200 metres to go. Tafane, 2 lengths, Lighthouse. Sierra Sue, then Cascadian. Tafane with 100 metres to go. Lighthouse giving chase, but Tafane has controlled it and will win the Ore. Tafane, a big winner. Second, Lighthouse from Cascadian. Sierra Sue, then I'm Thunderstruck. Next, Inspirational Girl, Just Folk. Further back was Wild Planet, Sinawon, Behemoth, Lightsaber, and last, Secret Blaze.
Magnificent scenes here. Mike Moroney, Anthony Ferrocci, Rupert Lee, and the entire team attached to Tafane. What a ride this mare's taken them on throughout a glittering career, of course. She went to Brisbane last winter, was able to win at Group 1 level, taking out a Tats Tiara. She returned here, of course, fresh to run a super race for a third behind Behemoth and a Memsey. Today, her 7th attempt fresh. She gets victory. And what a moment this is for Mark. Is this Bonnie mare, this daughter of Ocean Park, who's now heading towards $4 million in prize money, and she's a multiple Group 1 winner.
The race changed complexion from the gates when Lightsaber missed the kick. Everyone's speed maps had the 3-year-old going to the front, and that gifted Tafane a lead, given they were largely anticipating they were going to land outside Lightsaber.
Yeah, well, the speed map was telling us there wasn't much pace in the race, and Mark Zara was well.
Got so many runs on the board now, but I mean, it just speaks to how amazing trainer Mike Moroney is. Like, for this mare to debut at the end of her 3-year-old season, he's been so patient with her and still winning Group 1 races. You know, first up at 6. He's clearly a Hall of Fame calibre trainer in my book, and I'm not sure he gets the...
It was as we saw it. Things didn't quite go to plan, but that she relaxed well enough, and that the only time that she got on the bit over travelling is when Behemoth come out about the 800 metre mark and had a bit of a stare at her, and he said he let her move away and put the pressure back on, and then she relaxed lovely again. So, no, that was a really good, strong win, and pretty hard to lead away there. These ones that you have for a while, and she certainly get in that bracket.
And there might be more Group 1s to come. Mike, we really appreciate your time. Took further shape. Of course, you can vote today, and then it's done and dusted, but head to allstarmole.com.au to get involved. From my perspective, it was really taken with a run of I'm Thunderstruck into 5th yesterday. John McNeil came back and I think was very, very pleased. Speaking of Mick Price post-race as well,
And they're racing. Embracer handle the start okay off the inside. Ashman and Overpass ridden vigorously on the outside. Pass ending Overpass forward from Ashman, and Embracer starting to muster now into 3rd. A gap of 3 further back to Lost and Running as the field strings out. 2 off to Stand Out from Chat, then Superior from King of Sparta in and up. Laws of Indecision. Rocker is the last one. Embracer booted through to hold out Overpass for the lead. Ashman 3rd and a half the outside. Lost and Running close enough. 2.5 half to stand out. Then came Chat. Deeper out then is King of Sparta, followed by Superium as they travel up to the home turn. In and up trying to improve. Laws of Indices moves up wider now, and Rocker is the last one. It's Embracer, a length in front, turning for home from Overpass and Ashman. Lost and Running being kidded to on the outside, closing in. Then came Stand Out and Chat down to the 250, and Lost and Running given the cue by Bowman, takes the lead now from Overpass. Stand Out running on. Lost and Running a length and a half clear to Stand Out. Overpass fighting out the miners, but Lost and Running extends away. Big win in the Southern Cross. Second goes to Overpass, who kicked on strongly just in front of Stand Out. Superium closing off to third. Laws of Indices warming up well at the end. Then Chat from Rock Ashman. A gap back to King of Sparta, and the last two in and up, and Embracer.
Well, the class is there for all to see, and what sort of a preparation is this horse going to have? He has come back and stamped himself as one of Australia's best sprinters, if he wasn't already there. This is exciting stuff from Lost and Running, and an exciting autumn awaits him, Ronnie.
Oh, my word, he's learned how to race now. He's the young boy's become a man, even though he's a 5-year-old. He's lightly raced, and he used to just run.
No, he's just doing everything so much better now as he's got older, and his wither only really popped up this spell. Like he's still been sort of running downhill up until this time, and so he's finally matured now. And the next 12
running Huey's speedster with John O'Shea. He ran in an Everest. He ran fourth. He won the Hunter before going out for a break, and this is how Ronnie came back yesterday.
And boy, did he come back with a bang. I think we're all just a little worried about him first up after his previous preparation, but John obviously learnt from that. And this horse, Huey, he's become a man. The way you've taught him to settle, and he's not just a speedster, and he's giving every indication that he might just run that 1,500 mile.
He feels like he will, but it's important that he does relax, and he's very strong through the line here. But the best part of the race for me was at the 700 when I needed him to come back underneath me. He wouldn't have done that last prep at this stage. And
getting that extra distance, any doubts in your mind?
Well, he showed at Newcastle that he can run the 1400, and I can't see the 1500 being any problem if that's the path he takes. I believe it is. The George Ryder third up, so...
She's had her 2 trials. She bolted in that carbine at the end of her preparation when set for the grand final, making it 3 straight. So she's going to be strong here. She might be in a stablemate shadow now, but she mightn't be when we get to the mile again.
Terrific prep last time out. Huey Bowman.
That's what's all the fuss about. Espiona, number 8. Let's have a look at her. James McDonald and Chris Waller.
Yeah, what have we got here? She's laid back, that's for sure. Nothing phases her whatsoever. We all saw what she did in the 2 runs that she's had. She late. 8, 3, 12 and 5, Greg.
Okay. At price. Now, at Yarra Valley Night Guide, the $3 favourite with bookmakers at Randwick. Espiona, 155 to 160, back to 155. 4 moves ahead is $13 into $9.50. Jamea, $9.50 out to $11. 11 to 14 for...
With our traders, this horse up at $1.50 and people will take it anyway, such as the hype. We'll get to that a little bit later on with Very Elegant.
Ready now, and they're off and racing. Espiona's jumped only fairly. Zeta Rita's jumped quite well and is racing to the early lead from 4 moves ahead. Zuzarella going forward, arcaded in the blue cap from Tilianum, followed then by Heresy. Espiona's out deep, settling in about 6th position, the favourite, followed by Jolet. Then came Jamea from Hinge. Fan got up the fence from Mokalua. Von Trapp being taken back, and Star Tonte's the last one. 4 moves ahead with blinkers on today. Races to a narrow lead now from Zetarita. Arcaded third from Zuzarella. Then came Tilianum. Heresy with the white cap, being partnered by the short favourite Espiona the outside. Jamea's onto the short price favourites back. Then Fangirl slicing through the centre, and Jalale on the inside. They turn for home now. It's 4 moves ahead. Zetarita, Arcaded, Zuzarella and Espiona closing in. So Jamea the outsider. Fangirl. Good race coming up here. Jamea goes on with the job, really lays it down now to Espiona and Zuzarella. Lifting is Espiona. Jamea now. Fangirl gets the final shot at them. Espiona just in front. Fangirl over the top, went bang, got up. Fangirl knocked off Espiona. Jamea third, great finish there to the light fingers. followed by Heresy, then Zuzarella, Startotes late. Further back to Hinged, Arcaded, Jalay, Tillianum, Mokalua, Von Trapp, 4 moves ahead, and Zedorita.
Well, some good horses have won this. Emancipation, More Joyce are the pick. That's a great renewal. Those 3 fillies are top-class fillies. They really are. That was a fabulous race. Fangirl.
Back, minding her own business from a good draw. A little bit of pressure on the favourite. Had to give her a dig out of the rib. She got caught wide, no cover first half of the race. Then found the back of Zuzarella. But we all forgot how good this filly is. What she did at the end of last preparation was outstanding, and she resumes with a bang here. Fangirl.
She won a Goulburn maiden. The clash of the day. This race was talked about for many weeks. So much depth. A great field of 3-year-old fillies lining up, but 95% of the talk was all about Espiona. Can you talk us through this mighty clash? And we've got to throw in Jamea as well, because she was great, where Fangirl, your ride, gets up to beat Espiona and Jamea.
Well, Huey, she was good. You obviously found a beautiful position coming to the turn there and knew what you were following, because she was the marked, well, she had to be the marked girl going into the race.
Well, she certainly was, and, you know, they've worked together, these 2 fillies at home. And, you know, I think the mark, it's easy now that Fangirl won, but obviously Espiona was a deserved favourite, but I think there was a discrepancy in the amount of the difference in the price. And I think these 3 fillies they're all top-class fillies, and they're all in for a big autumn, and she's just got that will to win, and I expected Espiona to win, like everyone else, but when I was just going back through Fangirl's replays, because I hadn't ridden her in a race before, the way she attacked the line when James won on her here over 1400 in the spring was exceptional, and it actually gave me confidence that if I was in the right spot at the right time, she could perform very well in this race, and that's exactly what she did.
That's what I'm about to ask you, that you just said right spot at the right time. Do you reckon getting held up that little fraction until about the 150, do you reckon that won you the race? Do you reckon if you were exposed a bit, or if you got there a bit sooner, do you reckon she would have sort of faded on the line?
No, because I was so tight between the 2 runners, and Tommy knew exactly where I was, and he was giving me no room. We even had a chuckle about it after the race.
Well, the Espiona, I think we can stop playing this game now of the, you know, Little Winks and the Second Coming and all this sort of stuff. And let's just face it, she's a good filly. Yeah. She's on her way. She did the work there. She was a sitting shot late, and I don't think she should lose any admirers. She's very, very promising.
Chris, we've got Special Reward here who looks in fantastic order. How's he come through his win in the Carrington? Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Race number 8 today is the Apollo Stakes, sponsored by the agency, 1400 metres, Group 2, weight for age. And this mounting out is brought to you by Harvey.
I think Bar run well, but it's a big ask resuming off of Melbourne. He wanted this little shower of rain, and maybe he wanted a bit more fence on fire, but I'm sure he's trained up to run really well and catch a few on the hop here. I think the main danger might come from him down the middle late here. One, think it over. I can't understand the big set against him in the market. There's no issues with him. He's just a good, tough competitor at his whole...
Racing down the Apollo, and very elegant, well in the second half of the field out of the gates, and Riadini jumped well with I Am Superman. Think It Over being sent forward, and Colette jumped well into 4th, followed by Maximal on the improve from Special Reward, then Secandra Bad from Colding, Hungry Hard Ice Bath. Further back to Duis, very elegant settles second last, and a couple to She's Ideal. They go to the 1,000, and I Am Superman crosses to lead by a length and a half on Riadini. 2.5 to Think It Over, then came Maximal with a field pretty well strung out. Further back to Colette, then Special Reward, Secandra Bad. 2 lengths then to Hungry Heart of the inside at Colding. Length and a half to Ice Bath. Very elegant third last from Duis, and She's Ideal last about 16 off the lead. At the 600 metres, it's I Am Superman and Riadini moving up on the outside, so the pace is very strong. Coming around the turn, they're 4 lengths clear from Think It Over and Maximal. Further back to Special Reward, Colette, very elegant, stays now to the inside. She'd be 10 off the lead. I Am Superman and Riadini. I Am Superman still under a hold. Berry said go now. Think It Over being wound up and giving chase to I Am Superman, and here he comes again. Think It Over went straight on by from I Am Superman, special reward, and Colette late on the scene, but think it over. Another big race victory wins the Apollo Stakes in brilliant style. Beat Colette and special reward. Then Hungry Heart, very elegant late. Further back to Ice Bath, Secandra Badine. Superman went too quick with Riodini. Then She's Ideal from Colding, and Maximal was one of the last to finish.
Well, he's gone to the highest level now. I know that's a Group 2, but that was a Group 1 in name, except the fact that they had two alongside the Apollo. That's as strong a field as you'll see in Australia in a long time, and he absolutely dominated. Now, Kerry Parker did the
worst scenario for him, but he relished
with his quality, just stalking and loves to chase down a tearaway leader. We all know that, and he was absolutely always in control there. Colette was good first.
Run second, Colette. James Cummings and Tim Clark. Number 5, special reward, Chris Lees and Glyn Schofield. Over has been able to achieve, how he keeps meeting the challenges, getting better. What he did in the Apollo Stakes yesterday was quite incredible. Over 1,400 metres at weight for age. Maybe once a giant killer, no more. He's the real deal, and they have to beat him now in the races going forward.
What an outstanding horse, and to think the market took him on yesterday. He just looks a beautiful ride. You just push the button, he puts himself in a position, and then he knows he's got to chase him down late. Nash would have been giggling the whole way here, Corey.
He was never going to get beat. Like, once Nash, from an awkward sort of draw, pushed forward, settled into the 1-1. There was good speed on, out there on the track, but from the 800 metres, he was never, ever going to get beat.
Yeah, look, and finally he might marketplace. Look, Colette's run well, nice return from her. I thought the I Am Superman went out far too hard there, and he a lot of merit in his performance that he stuck on pretty well. And Hungry Heart, I thought, was pretty good first up. She could be in for a good prep, maybe just train as more of a sprinter miler. The Fit Horse run well, special reward.
Ice Bath got home good.
Yep, she was good sections late there, and very elegant. Very hard to resume off a 2-mile Melbourne Cup, and they got her out of a comfort zone.
Yeah, that's what
was fast run. It was too fast a race for those sort of stayers resuming.
Yeah, it was. She's still come home the second best last 600 of the race, so she's gone well.
All of it, there's the Chipping Norton Stakes lineup, with Very Elegant the favourite at $3 in front of Think It Over at $3.50. They will...
A tough race, this one. I'm leaning with Barb Raider. She's the class runner in the race. I was really taken by her recent trial. I like to see the market support. I think she can put herself right, and she's going to give this race a bit of a shake. I like the booking of
quality throughout that entire field, so really hard to pick one. But Ancient Girl, I didn't even talk about her in the mounting yard.
There for you, Charlotte. Geez, this has been a good go. Barb Raider into $3 now. This is a real good go. The bigger syndicates at Bet with Sportsbet that can shift the market very quickly. They're on, so where there's smoke, there's...
Set for the vanity, and away they go, and they jumped as one. Ancient Girl towards the inside, shows speed to lead in the early stages from Throntari, Manouche, and out deeper on the track, also pushing up Socialist. Barb Raider got to 5th, and then came a length away for the front runner at the 1,000 metres by about a length and a half to Socialist, chasing the speed. 2.5 Manouche, a similar gap Throntari, 4th the inner of Barb Raider, a couple of lengths to Genuinely Tiara Jewel at the back. Rio Yuki outside of Cardigan Queen, through halfway at the 700 metres, and the leader is Ancient Girl. Took a steadier before the bend, led by a length and a quarter Socialist, a length and a half Manouche, then Throntari, Barb Raider, Tiara Jewel the outside. They were followed next on the rails by Genuinely from Rio Yuki, who'll be one of the widest, and Cardigan Queen whipped them in. 400 metres to go. Ancient Girl, 3/4 Socialist getting a bit closer. Then Manouche presenting 3 wide. Barb Raider 4 deep in the lime jackets running on, and then came Throntari. Ancient Girl at the 250, shown the whip, led by 3/4 of a length. Trying hard Socialist with Barb Raider. Cardigan Queen late. Barb Raider up to Ancient Girl, and lifting in the middle as well as Socialist, but Barb Raider goes home better, and Barb Raider won from Cardigan Queen. Photo 3rd on the inside, Ancient Girl or Socialist, followed by Manouche, Rio Yuki and Throntari. They were followed by Genuinely Tiara Jewel, finished a long way back as well.
She was the only filly in the race resuming, and she now makes it 7 from the last 10 winners who've been first up the vanity and got the prize, and she had that touch of class as well. 3rd in the 1,000 guineas behind Yearning, and that was really a run that was supposed to be en route to a tilt out of VRC Oaks here, of course.
Ancient Girl picks up the all-important stakes placing for these 3-year-old fillies, which adds...
And it's been a race where class and horses first up have dominated in recent years, and that was the case with Barb Raider. She was the only filly on resumption yesterday, the only filly who brought form lines out of races like the 1,000 Guineas, in which she ran third back in the spring, and she made it 7 from the last 10 who've won this race first up with a superb performance. Only unplaced found out her spring campaign. Cardigan Queen home with one of the fastest last 200s of the day, but the class rose here, Simo.
No, absolutely, and was truckloaded, this horse. Like, it was $4.20 in the morning, ended up jumping about $2.80. This was one-way traffic the whole way. Craig Williams
starts, and what he's done is he's shown a nice turn of speed off slow speeds in both of those runs. So this is no doubt a tougher contest, but he
defeating Asar Moonga and Cherry Tortoni. Luna Fox was 12th, then turned it around at 300 to 1 in the big one. Benescari, who adds their name to the honour roll in the CSAs?
I'm going with Lightsaber due to the map. I think he'll control.
Chiro, and one was the supermodel from Pakenham. So I've actually gone Lightsaber. Just felt his parade was slightly better. He looked...
It's a good go. $4.60 holding at favourite now. He got into $4 with Sportsbet. So a really good push in the last hour for Lightsaber. Team Moody on the back up here. You know, he's a track and trip winner. All right.
But Lightsaber, number 3, I've been told is going to come out. Let's just get this officially. Signal from behind and racing at the 1400. Lena's Legend drifts back to the tail of the field shortly after the start. Pashero jumped well and goes straight towards the lead in the early stages of the race. So Pashero from Mana Nui, and also Zathus the outside. Corona Lad between horses, 2 lengths pinstriped. Then Umgawa. Pashero is the leader, led by a length to in second place Zathus. A length and a quarter Mana Nui. Corona Lad, 3 lengths pinstriped Umgawa. Further back is Lena's Legend spotting the lead about 9. Then came Captivant, well back Allegron. Second last Forgot You, and at the back is Rhinoceros approaching the corner. 600 metres to go, and it's Pashero by a length to in second place Zathus. Corona Lad easing out 3 wide in the yellow jacket. Mana Nui behind them from Umgawa. Further back is Pinstripe, 5 off the lead and inching a little bit closer. Captivant to the outside with a bit to do. Then Lena's Legend, Allegron well back. Pashero kicks away. 300 metres to go, put up 3 lengths. Zathus, Corona Lad, Pinstripe. Further back, Captivant, and then Lena's Legend. Pashero, 150 metres to go, starting to wobble now. 2 lengths in front of Pinstripe, wearing it down. Pashero falling in a hole, and Pinstripe's got it. Pinstripe wins over the top one at 3/4. Pashero, Captivant. Then Forgot You and I Catch a 4. Behind them, Zathus, Corona Lad, Umgawa, Allegron, Rhinoceros, Lena's Legend, and Mana Nui last.
We saw the Guitar tyres here en masse 2 years ago on Black Caviar Lightning Day. There's a set of merchandise being worn by some excited owners who are part of the Pinstripe journey, who's now 3 for 3 for Enver Yusufovic, one of racing's good guys. Looking forward to chatting to EJ in a moment after Pinstripe grabs the Group 3 CSA stakes, and he looks like he...
Weeks ago, relished the length of the straight, needed it to reel in Pashero, the tearaway leader in the end, but he ran 0.6 faster in his last 200 than Trent Bussett and Natalie Young's gallant First Light Racing colt, and they had Forgot You, of course, back in 4th, who was a good run fresh.
Yeah, coming out, of course, his debut was at a Moe Maiden on a wet track, and he was well tried that day. It's coming off some good jump outs. This is a will-to-win race. He put his head down and charged the last furlong in particular. This is a terrific win. You don't return figures like that, you know. I know it was a line again. This is a big win. This is a big win.
Inching a little bit closer. Captivant to the outside with a bit to do. Then Lena's Legend, Allegron well back. Pashero kicks away. 300 metres to go. Put up 3 lengths. Zathus, Corona Lad, Pinstripe. Further back, Captivant, and then Lena's Legend. Pashero, 150 metres to go. Starting to wobble now. 2 lengths in front of Pinstripe, wearing it down. Pashero falling in a hole, and Pinstripe's got it. Pinstripe wins over the top one at 3/4.
Big roar from a group of connections, as you mentioned, Cuz. There's some first-time owners amongst them. They're all wearing guineas. It looks like his race. It's very hard, I would have thought, to make a case that any of them, unless there's a Luna Fox-style sleeper, can turn the tables.
I think he's getting better and better, this horse. He's gone from a heavy track, running time, going forward, to Moonee Valley racing back and winning. 2 unsuitable tracks for a big horse like him, to Flemington, racing a beautiful ride by Mickey D yesterday, but he was first time he's been on a good track, and he's still winning. So he's just going from strength to strength, this horse, and I really think he's a horse to beat.
But under the set weights is all over. I think Pinstripe is a very progressive horse, but he needs to keep on stepping up because Captivant, to me, looks like he's been absolutely set for the Australian Guinea. So it's going to be a much wider race than we saw yesterday back at the level weights for all.
Can't forget the guy at the top
of this sprint race. 5 individual Group 1 winners in the field, including Nature Strip, who's chasing his 8th and his 20th win overall in his career. He can be only behind Winks with north of $16 million if he can win the Lightning this afternoon. And right now, he holds all the belts when it comes to the weight for age sprints. The TJ, the Dali, and of course, last year's Lightning as well. Outside of that, he's got a lot of...
Build up, Nature Strip opened up a $2.40 favourite here for the Black Caviar Lightning, $2.45, and he's rock solid. And I can say 5 times as much as Eduardo. That's how big the hold is here with a Nature Strip. So he wins, we lose. Eduardo next best. So 4.40 we were shopping up.
The better suited to the 2 over 1,000 metres when they eyeball each other. He's trialled really well, as you'd expect from him. I guess the query with this horse is that...
His fresh last preparation to win the Group 3 Heath at Caulfield, and also his victory in the Group 2 Premier leading into his run in the Everest behind Nature Strip. He's got to be a chance at his first look up the straight.
Well, his run in the Everest was outstanding, considering where he...
The pressure from the likes of Nature Strip, Eduardo and Profiteer, which I'm interested to see what the mounting yard report is for this horse. He looks absolutely outstanding.
I think you can see the gleam from where you're sitting. It is, you need sunglasses to look at this horse parade. He has certainly got the best coat here, probably all day. A real...
In December 2020, and then, of course, last year during the Melbourne Cup Carnival, having the better of the other 3-year-olds, over 1,000.
Yeah, so he's won those 2 starts down the straight. And...
Dawn by Nature Strip. Start 35, chasing his 20th victory of his career, his 8th Group 1, and Jamie Carr reunites after they were successful in this race last year.
The best sprinter in the world, I think that's a fair tag. He's 19 from 34. His prize money is phenomenal. He's had 2 trials and a Flemington jump out. He's jumped out. It's forgotten his Guitra on an each-way basis. I think he's over the odds. So going to recommend him as the each-way bet.
Strip, I'm happy to be with this horse down the straight. He's the premier sprinter in the country and he looks ready to go. The one at all...
It's really hard to go past this horse, and look, the way he paraded was outstanding. The definition in his hindquarter, everything just points.
Like Nature Strip is just heavily back the way he is. He's into $2.15 now. When I was speaking to you last, $2.45, holding and dominating the turnover with Sportsbet, but they've continued just to crunch Nature Strip into $2.15. This is a big go. Eduardo too, well, he continues to trim, and he's got his supporters. Home Affairs just creeping out to $7 now. Masked Crusader out to 10. The big drift's the 3-year-old Profit.
Times completes it. They're ready, set for the Lightning. Stand by for a start, and they're racing, and Nature Strip was away only fairly and got squashed in between Eduardo and also Profiteer. Nature Strip was clearly the last out. The astrologist jumped quickly with Eduardo in the middle of the track. Bit of interference there. The Inferno ran onto heels. Now Profiteer is going to try and avoid the interference and come over towards the flat side and led from the astrologist and Guitra. Then a pack up the middle. Home Affairs from Eduardo. Nature Strip recovering. Third in that pack on the outside, followed by Swats, that Masked Crusader, and the Inferno last of all. 400 metres to go. It's Home Affairs, the 3-year-old, led by a length, Eduardo and Nature Strip, and then Profiteer next in the field. Swats, that Masked Crusader at the 200 metres. Home Affairs lets down. Nature Strip coming out after him, followed by Eduardo. Nature Strip chasing Home Affairs. Home Affairs digs in for the fight, and neck Nature Strip thrusting. Home Affairs, Nature Strip lunges. Photo finish. Home Affairs, I think, has just won from Nature Strip. The 3-year-old stands up in a sea of stars. Eduardo swats that in a photo for third, followed by Profiteer, the astrologist, back behind the Masked Crusader, Guitra, and the Inferno. Home Affairs is the winner. James McDonald for Chris Waller. Nature Strip lunged on the line, but Home Affairs has won it by a nose. Home Affairs wins.
Chris Waller has Quinella the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes for the 2nd straight year, and it's James McDonald getting the job done on home. And the story out of the race is what happened in the opening couple of metres where Nature Strip was tardy and untidy from the gates. But what a battle in Hemisphere. Perhaps Royal Ascot awaits for both of Chris Waller's now two star sprinters. Home Affairs.
What happened to Nature Strip out of the barriers? Michael Walker, his performance was out of this world considering.
Run of the race, especially as a horse that we know builds with his speed. For him to do that, and he should have won the race, but all honours to Home Affairs because he still set the speed and kept going.
Here's a look wide, and Profiteer come in to see what transpired, and Profiteer come in. Eduardo goes out. Jamie Carr meet in the sandwich, and as a rider, Michael, what do you sort of do from that position?
Close your eyes. No, it was just
spectacular.
Here. The build-up was big. The race was even better. Let's take in the full call on all the action of the 56 seconds of yesterday's Black Caviar Lightning.
Stand by for a start, and they're racing. And Nature Strip was away only fairly and got squashed in between Eduardo and also Profiteer. Nature Strip was clearly the last out. The astrologist jump quicks. What's that? Masked Crusader at the 200 metres. Home Affairs lets down. Nature Strip coming out after him, followed by Eduardo. Nature Strip chasing Home Affairs. Home Affairs digs in for the fight and neck. Nature Strip thrusting. Home Affairs. Nature Strip lunges. Photo finish. Home Affairs, I think, is just...
Because we were gasping at the end of the race, but we were gasping in the opening couple of seconds. What did you make of what happened out of the gates to Nature Strip?
Yeah, it was very busy. Obviously, Profiteer jumped in and Eduardo jumped out to some sort of degree.
Or chink in his armour, though, those first couple of strides, he can be a touch slowly away. And yesterday, when he got the squeeze, that's probably set him back a length and a half. But
I don't think it matters anymore.
Yeah, he's a mighty horse, isn't he? Like, he's so consistent. Left-handed, right-handed, down the straight, wet tracks, dry tracks. He's a bulletproof sprinter.
But they've just got to sit on
preparation, and my fellow, he's obviously just raised the bar since his 3-year-old year, as he had to do to compete against these quality horses. So, and I was just wrapped the way he just dug in and dug deep, because he was left to sit and shot, and he did all the donkey work up in front and still managed to stay them off. So I think he'll be better at 6 furlongs as well. So he's in for a super preparation, just an absolute star of a colt.
Because it's Michael here. Congratulations, bro.
Thanks, Bill.
You know, you rode Canterbury on the Friday night, and then we're on an early plane to get to Flemington on Saturday.
Affairs, if he does head to...
Cheers.
So Home Affairs, if he does head towards the Newmarket, which we perhaps think is the pathway, he's trying to emulate the last 3-year-old colt, which was General Nadim in 1998, to win the Lightning and the Newmarket. Do you think he's got the similar sort of sense about him as the General?
Looks one of the great quality 3-year-old sprinters, doesn't he? He's got it all. That was a lot of focus on Nature Strip and what went wrong with him, and would he have won, should he have won. It was a fantastic performance to lead all the way at that cruising speed.
And to take your first step out of restricted 3-year-old grade and go up against the best in the Lightning Stakes and come out on top. I mean, it's a serious call from Chris Waller to even attempt it, but to come out on top, and you've got 2 Group 1 wins down the straight, I mean, you'd think that the Newmarket is at his mercy.
Wasn't the heads up in the Coolmore last year when it looked an open betting race and he was $8, $9 the whole betting? All of a sudden he was $5 favourite.
And cruised home.
And bolted in.
Yep.
Quick wrap up outside of the Waller-Quinella. Eduardo loses no admirers, I think, with good performance in 3rd.
And it never looked the right race for Masked Crusader either, did it?
He ran pretty well. 1,000 metres, no.
Swats, that was terrific in 4th.
She's just a Flemington horse. She's just a great Flemington mare.
G-Trails, something's got to be wrong. He's had 3 bad runs.
And I like the Inferno as a horse, and I know yesterday's race.
Day, so, I mean, it's a bit of an unknown, but it's probably a little bit of an unknown for most of them. Go and get them. Thank you.
2-year-olds are in the yard for the Fujitsu General Silver Slipper Stakes. 1,100 metres. This mounting yard is brought to you.
Charlatan, who trialled earlier in the week, has gone 6 out to $9. Best of Bordeaux, 7 to 10s. Ebha is at 12.
Racing now, she jumped well, Queen of the Ball off the inside, and is the initial leader from Boyfriend, Best of Bordeaux, Ebha, and out very deep. Athletic has no hope of getting across, and Ohai's bursting onto the scene. Queen of the Ball being challenged by Ohai, Best of Bordeaux, 3 out, Ebha, 4 out, Yeehaw. Look at these 2-year-olds going to the first bend. They're followed by Boyfriend in 5th, Cythera back on the inside. Deeper out came Athletica. Back in the field is Spacewalk from Magic, and Charlatan sitting back enjoying the tempo. Best of Bordeaux won the battle for the lead from Ebha the outside. Queen of the Ball had to take a sit, followed by Ohai. Cythera railing through. Then came Boythrin from Athletica Spacewalk. Charlatan still last, getting to the outside. Best of Bordeaux drifting down to the rails. 2 lengths clear. Queen of the Bulls giving chase in second. Then came Oh High Cythera. Charlatan still a long way back with Spacewalk. Best of Bordeaux 3 lengths clear from Queen of the Bull. Then Oh High. It's Best of Bordeaux. Here's Magic with a big run late. Best of Bordeaux in front from Magic, and Best of Bordeaux does it again. Best of Bordeaux beat Magic. I think Cythera third in front of Queen of the Bull, Oh High, and deep out Boyfriend. A gap back to Charlatan from Spacewalk, and Ebhar was last to finish.
Well, that Canterbury form has stood up pretty well, hasn't it? So what a result for Casey Fulton here. And we've talked about Sam Clipperton, haven't we? Yeah. Coming back from Hong Kong, taking a while. Magic was an absolute eye-catcher. That $2.5 million suddenly does.
He's all speed, Corey.
Yeah.
Can he take this to 1,200 metres in a golden slipper? He may have another run. He may go to the Todman before that and we'll get a guide at him at 1,200. Does he strike you as a horse who can stretch it out again?
I don't think he'll get the 1,200 ridden like that. If he drew a bit softer and he jumped straight from the, jumped straight to the front from barrier 1 to 4, I would say that he might get 1,200, because Sammy Clipperton did tell me yesterday that he was happy to settle the horse, and then obviously being trapped 3 deep, he decided to push on at the 800 metre mark, which is quite an effort in itself, to push the button when he did, to get up and over, to hold on and win the race. I thought it was a great effort, but I don't think he'll get 1,200 ridden like that.
Yeah, look, we're still waiting, aren't we? We're saying that the 2-year-olds are coming, and we're all coming back to Coolangatta again now, so she probably runs next Saturday. But he was good. He was on the fence, mind you, this horse as well.
Oh, he's there. No, that's right.
As we know. What about this horse, Magic?
Oh, I thought it was a terrific run. Hawks, it's their way, I know, like 2-year-olds, give him a nice run. He'll probably have another run before the slipper, but probably should have won the race back where he was. He never got real clear running until probably the 150, and then the way he dove through on the line, I thought was pretty special.
Yeah, it's all got to happen quickly for him though.
Yeah,
because he's got to go and win a race now to force his way into it. Yeah. Then he's got to back up into a slipper, but it can be done.
Yeah,
it can be done, and this is the year it could be done in. And look, I thought Cythera was okay.
It's pretty exciting.
There's an incentive for Best of Bordeaux to go to the Todman. If Best of Bordeaux won the Todman, he'd be eligible for another $1 million bonus by winning the Golden Slipper. But that's a long way ahead. Coolangatta, we're going to see her, I think, next Saturday in the Sweet Embrace. Russian Conquest is at $8, and then Best of Bordeaux and the big runner.
Speed in the race, so I think it's going to make it hard for Animo coming off the back of the field. But yeah, I like Silent Impact. Young Regan Bayless can take his time getting across and control.
And we concentrate on the Group 2 Hobartville Stakes for the 3-year-olds at Rosehill, and suited by the 1,400. Second up is Animo Gator, your top pick.
Yeah, he did a great job, didn't he? First up against the pattern of the day, overpass, then test.
For the Group 2 Hobartville Stakes, the 3-year-olds are ready to run. Racing now, Flying Crazy was last out of the gates, and Silent Impact ridden for speed wide out and is showing very good muster to come across the face of the field and lead from Subterranean, Ranch Hand, and Animo's up running fourth in the early stages. In advance of Halal, then came Raging Bull, 1,000 metres to run, and Silent Impact leads by a length to Subterranean. Ranch Hand leaders back third, and Berry's got Animo in fourth position, 1 out, 1 back. Then came Halal, Raging Bull off the course, followed by Morris's Midad. Then came Converge from Kiss Some, Flying Crazy, and 2 lengths to Royal Zella. They've got 7.50 to run, and Silent Impact trying to lead all the way by a length on Subterranean. Ranch Hand is stalking, so's Animo, only 2 lengths off the lead. Then came further back to Raging Bull, Halal, and Converges third last, pulling to the outside as they straighten up. Silent Impact 3.75 leads by a length to Ranch Hand. Subterranean, Animo getting into his work, 3 lengths away to Converge. Ranch Hand roped in Silent Impact, but Animo roped in the pair, and Animo moved up on the outside of Ranch Hand. Halal's closing off on the inside really well. Animo in front, danger. Halal's trying to beat him. Halal goes to Animo. Animo kicks, brave win. Animo fended off Halal in a stirring finish to the Hobartville. Third between Converge and Ranch Hand. Then came Kiss Some late, followed by Silent Impact, Flying Crazy, Morris's Midad. Further back in the race to Subterranean and Raging Bull.
going to be fascinating to think what the wash-up is here. He had a lot of time to think, Animo, in that race. Tommy rides in for the first time. He looked like he might kick away and win by a length, and then it looked like he might get beaten by Halal. Converge was being hurled.
Converge from the back might keep for another day. He's run third in front of Ranch Hand.
Yeah, all very good. I just think Animo, a beautiful ride, well thought out ride, and with improved...
Riding him where you did, would you prefer to ride him a pair further back and let him chase for longer?
Yeah, definitely. I think even 1 or 2 pairs further back where he's usually been ridden, as you said, Corey, just gives him a bit more work to do. He's got a beautiful big stride on him, and as I said, I've had the ride on him now. If I got the opportunity to ride him again, well, we'd obviously, go back to riding him probably that pair or 2 further back where he's more comfortable and better suited, and I think we'll see him a bit more dominant ridden that way.
Just a little lapse in concentration there. You just shaved Ranch Hand on the way through. It's just a race. I didn't think it was that severe, but obviously they're jumping all over that sort of stuff, and a bit of a costly suspension there, Tommy. The 27th through to the 12th, so you miss of the beaten brigade there, Corey. What do we want to say about them? I thought
Converge was good.
He was very good
from back. Yeah, like Tommy said, I just don't think the speed of the race on paper. I thought they'd go a little bit quicker, but in the run they seemed to just hold up and a bit of a dash home. But yeah, I thought Converge from sort of second last to third last, I thought he worked home really well.
Yeah, I thought he did as well. I think they'll be the making of him, riding him quiet there yesterday and teaching him something. And Kalal, well, could well shape up. He's sort of been question marks around him, the form around him, but he certainly was very good yesterday. And the horse I thought is still a little knockout chance in these races is Morris's Middag, because he lost his advantage. As far as the future's concerned, it's all about Animo, but I'm not convinced about him being an even money chance, Greg, going into the Randwick Guineas. I think there's more opposition than that. Well, after it's still an intriguing race, and Profondo just adds that lot. Yeah. So much interest. Yeah, look, it's going to be still an intriguing race, and Profondo just adds that lot. Yeah. So much interest being first up into a Randwick Guineas.
It'll be a training effort if he does pull it off. I didn't see his first.
Third race of the afternoon. Benchikowski a little bit edgy. Racing now. El Patroness jumped away really well, with also Van Roy the inside and Castlereagh Kid. Van Roy using that gate is going to lead from Castlereagh Kid, followed by Savaleo Lucky Decision and Attractable wider in the red and yellow, also pushing up. Bon Vivant behind those, followed by El Patroness, who's about 6th and 3 wide from Benchikowski. Well back El Zami, Can't Go Wong, and also Who Done the Deal. 800 metres to run. Castlereagh Kid looks for a breather, led 2 lengths Van Roy Attractable. El Patroness is out deeper on the track now in 4th place. Next along the inside, Savaleo from Lucky Decision. Mares very wide. Then Benchikowski. Bon Vivant losing ground from El Zami. Then Footlights and well back Can't Go Wong, with also Nino and Who Done the Deal. Castlereagh Kid comes around the corner at the 350, leading a length and a quarter. Van Roy Attractable, then Lucky Decision. El Patroness lugging in is brushing with Lucky Decision, followed by Savaleo and Mares. It's Castlereagh Kid below the 200, Attractable about 3/4 of a length away, followed next by Lucky Decision, El Patroness, but Castlereagh Kid is clear, and Oliver summed it up well. Castlereagh Kid won it from Lucky Decision, El Patroness, and Bon Vivant late for 4th from El Zami. Then Mares Attractable and Can't Go Wong. Next to finish, Savaleo in company with Van Roy and Footlights. Well back, Who Done the Deal, Nino, and at the end was Benchikowski.
Well, if it was a DVD or a videotape, it'd be worn out and probably not working anymore. But Ollie goes to the front in a feature race at Caulfield over a middle distance and controls it with absolute perfection. He's...
as well. The third event was the Autumn Classic Group 2 over 1800 for the 3-year-olds, and Castlereagh Kid, well, this was, again, I feel like we've seen this show a few times. Ollie sitting on speed in a middle distance race, particularly around Caulfield, took advantage of, again, the way the track looked to be playing from the early sample of things, but again, sat on speed, controlled things perfectly, and a horse who... He dominated that win at Gosford Hutch. We then saw him in that midweek performance at Sandown some 10, 11 days ago, where it was a good victory, but you perhaps wouldn't have expected he was going to be able to step up and provide the, I don't know, the intestinal fortitude we saw here.
He looked like he was going to lead this race, but he actually, once he got there, he got away with some very cheap sections. I mean, I don't know what a lot of the other riders, I mean, they needed to be a little bit more proactive and try and get into a spot. Jamie Carr got left 3 wide without any cover in a slowly run race, but yeah, I think a few of the others dropped the ball. He ended up getting there and getting too easy a time, and the rest is history.
I love his attributes, though. As horses get to him, he finds another gear. Like yesterday, you thought the horses behind were going to get to him and run past him, and the same at Sandown. But over the last 100 or 150 metres, he was drawing away.
I agree.
And I think it was quite soft on the line. Zabeel kicked in very stoutly.
The further the race went on, the further he got away from them. It was really, really good.
Zabeel kicked in very stoutly, bred on the dam side.
Typical Kiwis.
Good at staying, eh?
Racing now. Beautiful line 2. Argentia, the inside, jumped away well. Is going to use her gate. Lavish Girl led her by about a neck early. Then Von Trapp, who's pushing forward further back. Forbidden City, Bonza Perla. A length and a Lavish Girl led off the back with 950 metres to go by a half length. Von Trapp. Then Argentia, who's third the inside. Forbidden City is 3 wide around those horses. Then Bonza Perla. A length Decent Rain yearning the outside of the Bolter Fiasco Test from Mokalua. And Hardly Sweet has last at the 700 metres. Lavish Girl, the pilot, 3/4 of a length in front from Von Trapp second. Forbidden City deeper. Then came Argentia, who will just need some luck from there. And then came Bonza Perla. A length Decent Rain Fiasco Test from Yearning Mokalua. And 2 further back is Hardly Sweet as they sold it up approaching the turn. Lavish Girl in front by 3/4 of a length to Von Trapp. Then came Forbidden City, who just hung fractionally round the corner. There's a run, is there for Argentia? No, she has to sit and suffer. Bonza Perla can't get a run, and Decent Rain the outer. Lavish Girl kicked for home at the 200. Argentia's out, and they were followed by Decent Rain, but Lavish Girl kicked away. 100 metres to go. Lavish Girl clear of Argentia. It's another leader. Lavish Girl won it from Argentia, yearning up for third. Then Decent Rain, Bonza Perla, Fiasco Test, Mokalua. Von Trapp next, and then Hardly Sweet, and Forbidden City has run last.
So the break between runs works for Kieran Moore, Dave Eustace, and Ben Mallam is back in the black type winner's circle. He salutes on Lavish Girl in the Angus Armanasco. She campaigned through the spring running races like the...
Group 2, Angus Armanasco over 1,400 for the 3-year-old fillies. And again, you've got to tip the cap to the Mar Eustace team and their ability to prepare their horses. Lavish Girl was 7 weeks between runs, but was one of the obvious go-forward horses in the race, and there was a bit of market support to suggest that as well. Great for Ben Mallam. He got a winner on Friday night for Shea Eden. Gets back on the black top.
The race rate ranked 4 with daily sectionals, so there might be some substance here. But Argentia, I think she might be better perhaps outside, but I thought that, I must admit, my guest, I thought when she got out with about 150 to go, I was a bit disappointed she couldn't make too many inroads in the final 100.
I thought she was going to savage the line, but she didn't. So, you know, the leader was obviously travelling superbly, and even on the line, Lavish Girl was quite soft, I thought. So full credit to Ben Mallam. You know, he's given this horse an absolute peach of a ride. He knew where he wanted to be. In his post-race interview, he said, I wanted to be hard up against the fence. He walked the track. It's good to see a jockey of Ben's calibre hit the ground running, you know, at a tough on-board horse like Lavish Girl.
And anyway you cut it, Yearning was a better run, I think, than Argentia, really. I mean, she's been back wide, run off. She's got home better. I thought it was a pleasing return from the 1,000 Guineas winner.
It sure was.
And they're racing. Emissary was the slowest out, drifts back to the end. Yonka's the best out. Delphi's going to race it after 100. Steel Prince out wider. Cascadian holds its spot on the fence, followed by Wentwood and Emissary. 800 metres to run. Delphi as it likes by 3/4 of a length, now a half Yonkers, a length Cascadian. They were followed by Steel Prince, Emissary and Wentwood last. So Delphi, as they reach the 600 metres, no excuses, led by about a long neck to Yonkers. Then came Cascadian, who just needs a run. Steel Prince, who's been supported at odds, is going to peel out 3 wide. Then Emissary niggled at from Wentwood. A dash to the post, 350 out. Delphi the leader from Yonkers, who's a neck away. Cascadian shoulders into the clear, and then came Emissary, who looks to run on. Delphi joined and just about headed by Yonkers. Cascadian trying to grind them down. Yonkers at the 100. Now Cascadian lifts, then Emissary. Cascadian up to Yonkers. Cascadian took the front and got it done. Cascadian wins from Yonkers Emissary. Then Delphi, Steel Prince, and last Wentwood.
Oliver's got complete and sole ownership of the 1800 metre features on Blue Diamond Stakes Day. He won a 5th version of the Autumn Classic a little bit earlier on aboard Castlereagh Kid. Here it had a different look to it, but the same result as he wins a record 6th Peter Young Stakes, of course, registered as the St George, run since 1900. Jim Pike had won 5. Ollie had...
Pointed towards the Group 1 Australian Cup. Damien Oliver claiming this race for a 6th time aboard Cascadian, and he found the necessary room in the straight from the one draw. We got to that point in the meeting about halfway through Hutch where it was like, got to be probably on the fence, close to the speed, controlling things. That wasn't necessarily the case here, but again, the composition of this field and the race shape was always going to suit Cascadian's turn of foot.
I think, to be perfectly honest, it didn't look like a stellar lineup. The pace was ridiculously slow. They've gone, I think, 18 lengths slow to the 800, so it was walk, trot, canter, and then a sprint, and Cascadian actually produced the best final 200 at the whole meeting, and that just highlights how slow they went, and it developed into...
And I think as they've started to step him up in trip, like 1800 metres yesterday, and he'll probably go to the 2000 metres of the Australian Cup, whereas in his younger days he was running in those mile races, 1500 metre races. But I think, you know, he's a genuine 10-furlong horse, and clearly on a path to the Australian Cup, so he'll be mighty competitive.
So Fiorente, the last to do the Peter Young Australian Cup double back in 2014, Ollie...
State prize money he's made. It's
$4 million. Yeah,
he's been,
and he goes back to probably his best track, Flemington, in 2 weeks' time for the Australian Cup. So, yeah, he's on the right path. It's hard to see horses coming from nowhere to knock him off.
Racing now. Pretty good line too. I'm Thunderstruck, just missed it a beat, and Mr. Mozart's going back to the end. Giraffe led it early by about a half length to Farnay. Streets of Avalon's going to pour it on out deeper. A length and a quarter, Sierra Sue, Moonga. Mr. Mozart set a light deep is improving too. Extreme Flight goes back to second last, and I'm Thunderstruck at the end. Giraffe is the leader, sped to the front by about a length and a quarter. Streets of Avalon. Mr. Mozart is working up out wider, followed by Sierra Sue, fourth the rails. Next in the field is to Farnay, one off the fence. A length and a half, Extreme Flight, the outside of Moonga, and also I'm Thunderstruck, who's just sneaking ground up on the fence now. Giraffe joined by Mr. Mozart. They need a breather. 650 metres to go in the futurity. A length and a quarter, Streets of Avalon, the outside of Sierra Sue. They were followed by Tefane as the pace just slackened somewhat, peeled out 3 wide. I'm Thunderstruck, bailed away from Extreme Flight, and Moonga last of all, coming around the corner. 350 out. It's Giraffe held together. Mr. Mozart crabbed around the corner. Tefane presents. Sierra Sue needs a run. I'm Thunderstruck's hit a wall, and they were followed by Moonga. It's Giraffe at the 200. Sierra Sue lifting. Tefane needs to find Moonga late. Sierra Sue takes Giraffe. 100 metres to go. Sierra Sue pulls clear, and Sierra Sue won the futurity. Moonga second, Tefane third, Giraffe 4. Then I'm Thunderstruck, Streets of Avalon, Extreme Flight. Mr. Mozart was last.
They were in the frame this day 2 years ago in a Blue Diamond with Tagaloa, and here it's Bussett and Young in those silks that we're becoming very, very used to seeing in the frame come the big races right around Australia. Sierra Sue, what a mare she is, what a mare she's been. Adds another Group 1, of course, after taking the Rupert Clark at this track and trip back in September. But today she's done it at 1.
First of them by racebook order was the Futurity, and How good is Sierra Sue? I think the market and everyone else continues to perhaps underrate her a little bit, but this is her playground hut. She loves the Caulfield 1400, and she was fourth in the all behind Tefane, Lighthouse and Cascadian Fresh, given a perfectly timed ride by John Allen from that inside draw. She's won the PB Lawrence, the Rupert Clark and the Futurity now alongside that fourth in the all.
Yeah, she deserved the win. Look, the tempo was good enough. We saw a mid-race move for Mr Mozart as well, which came unstuck, but ultimately she just had a beautiful run through the race on the back of the pace, on the back of Turath. It ended up really messy for Tefane.
In a 1400-metre race, she can just travel so sweetly off the speed. There was no horse travelling better at this point in the race. As they straighten up, she only needed an ounce of luck, and she was the horse to beat.
Mozart grabbed around the corner. Tefane presents. Sierra Sue needs a run. I'm Thunderstruck's hit a wall, and they were followed by Mo'unga. It's Turath at the 200. Sierra Sue lifting. Tefane needs to find Mo'unga late. Sierra Sue takes Turath. 100 metres to go. Sierra Sue pulls clear, and Sierra Sue won the Futurity. Mo'unga second, Tefane third.
It's a great point, Simo. It hit me watching the replay last night just how sweetly she was travelling for John Allen coming to the corner, and the question was, will she find some clear air?
We had this conversation in the spring about her best trip, and Kaz was saying 1400 metres in a fast run race, and she obviously loves Caulfield. Can she stretch out to 1600 metres and be competitive in All-Star Mile? You know, her track.
But no, she's a really, really good mare, and don't forget I'm a Thunderstruck. He's a horse that needs to build in his races. Jai went back to the fence inside Mo'unga, who ended up running second and couldn't get out and build into the race like we've seen I'm Thunderstruck do at Caulfield. He's usually back, gets to the outside and builds. Yesterday he never got to, so please do not forget him in an All-Star
He
Mile.
lost his momentum, didn't he? And he didn't finish off. But
it was just a plain run, just a pass mark.
I was a bit disappointed the last 100. I thought, you might run through the line a bit better, but maybe he deserves the benefit of the doubt, I suppose.
I sat on him last week. He's an outstanding horse, and I never knew how big his stride was, Mike. So yesterday, seeing him, wasn't allowed to use that big stride. I think just took his finish away from him.
Yep. That's the Group 1s. The
ready to go. They stand by for a start, and they're racing in the diamond. Sebenak away only fairly. Revolutionary Miss was away cleanly. Miss Rosiano out fast with also Semyon, who is going to burn rubber and go to the front from Seven Sisters, Miss Rosiano. They were followed by English Riviera. Further back along the inside, Waltz on by from Flashing Steel. Also in that group of horses out deeper is Dormier. Two further back, Kiki Express, Rampant Line, and also Revolutionary Miss. Further back, Sebenak, and they were followed by Jacquino, who sits on the outside of Count the Headlights, a length and a half Hafey, and last of all is Merchant Prince. Semi on the leader from English Riviera, and out three wide Miss Rosiano at the 500. Waltz on by behind those horses. They were followed by Dormier as they run the bend. In between horses then Flashing Steel, Kiki Express, Revolutionary Miss and Jacquino coming to the middle of the track. Semi on joined by English Riviera as they reach the 250 from Miss Rosiano, Dormier, and then came Revolutionary Miss and Jacquino. It's a big finish. Semi on English Riviera. Dormier's lifting. Revolutionary Miss and Jacquino coming as well. Dormier holding on. They hit the line. Dormier in a photo with Revolutionary Miss, and then Jacquino and Sebenak behind them. English Riviera. Next Count the Headlights. Next to complete the course, Semi on in company then with Merchant Prince from Rampant Line. Kiki Express, Miss Rosiano, Waltz on by. Well back in the field then was Seven Sisters with Flashing Steel and also Hafey. And it will be Dormier. Dormier is the winner of the Blue Diamond Stakes. Blinkers on for the first time. Anthony and Sam Friedman have done it again. They've won 3 of the past 4 runnings of the race.
The dominance continues for Anthony and Sam Friedman, and once again they do it with Godolphin as they did in 2019 with the Philly Lie. Here it's Dormier, as Matt Hill mentioned, crossing the line. The blinkers on have done the trick for the winner of the Colts and Gelding preview. He then, of course, went to that prelude, which is...
Oh, very special. I've sort of picked the wrong horse in this race for probably about 10 years running, so and I had a choice a couple of this, but it's good to, you know, you put in the work for the Freedmans, and You go down there every morning, or not every morning, but, you know, you do a lot of morning work, and we put the blinkers on, work as a team, get a result. It's very rewarding.
Were you pretty...
The Ned's Blue Diamond $1.5 million Victoria's premier 2-year-old race, and it was Dormier providing Anthony and Sam Freedman with their third victory in this race in the past 4 years. They won it with Lyre in 2019. They went really close with Hanseatic in 2020. The race, of course, you won with Tagaloa Cuz, and then they've won the last couple with Artorius and Dormier, and the formula has been put the blinkers on grand final day.
Oh, look, you can't give them enough plaudits, really. This race ranked 5th with daily sectionals. It was going to get down to who got the best ride on the day when we said it looked even prior to it. Here's one that sat 3 wide trail off the fence, the eventual winner, but with the second and third also covering ground on the course on a solid enough speed. But great race, tight finish, yeah, I suppose Dormier can't speak highly enough of the Freedman camp.
Between horses, then Flashing Steel, Kiki Express, Revolutionary Miss and Jacquinot coming to the middle of the track. Semyon joined by English Riviera as they reached the 250 from Miss Rosiano, Dormier, and then came Revolutionary Miss and Jacquinot. It's a big finish, Semyon, English Riviera. Dormier's lifting, Revolutionary Miss and Jacquinot coming as well. Dormier holding on, they hit the line. Dormier in a photo.
So Dormier for Mark Zara, what a return to the saddle he's had, of course, winning the Ore a couple of weeks ago with Tefane and sneaking in a Super Bowl trip in between. Sam Freedman.
Yeah, I think everything needed to work out, and you know, we're pretty open about that. He's a very good horse, but it felt like a very even year, and it was going to just come down to who got the most luck on the day and the right run. The staff had the horse presented there in terrific shape.
It's on a Sunday morning here on The Wrap. Dormier very good. I feel like I still need to watch this replay 6 or 7 times to make sense of what else happened in the race. Revolutionary Miss, outstanding. What a performance again. The Snowdens know a thing or two about winning this race. I don't think Jacquinot loses any admirers from the part of the track he had to make his run from, and Sebenak was perhaps a pair or two further back to really make an impression on the top 3.
Yeah, Sebenak was good, wasn't it? I mean, they were all on the 3 wide running line. The first 3 past the post, weren't they? So just to also reference sort of what happened before, and the tempo was strong. I mean, look, I think... in terms of what we learnt going forward, I think what we learnt was the pre-race we didn't think there was much between a lot of them, and I think post-race it's much the same, Mark. I just don't...
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right.
You know, there's no... The one that probably going forward into next season, I'd be thinking of more so Jacquinot, who... I thought at that 100 it was going to probably go on and win the race, but just seemed to peak on his run.
He peaked late, and Revolutionary Miss sort of kicked and was much stronger through the line. Maybe he just tried to get the horse into the race a touch earlier than he normally would, but you can see here he's the widest. He's probably 10 off the fence, and he looked to have Revolutionary Miss covered at about the 200, but you know, Jamie managed to lift Revolutionary Miss to just narrowly get defeated. But you've got to feel for Julius Sandu, don't you, and the connections of Lofty Strike.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
I mean, he would have been up to this race to his eyeballs, given the form lines around Dormier. He's undefeated, so yeah.
It's a big discussion point, isn't it? I mean, we're having... Obviously, you have to put the faith...
2-year-olds, as we get closer to the Golden Slipper, what bearing is the Blue Diamond going to have when they all join up, Duff? Dormier yesterday.
Who knows? Who knows? They've had a marvellous trot, the Freedmans and Godolphin in this race. I tell you, Anthony Freedman and the Godolphins. Dormier blinkers did the trick yesterday. Look, the bias was against him in his previous start. There was bias there yesterday. Was up the inside, was the best going, but... he's a terrific tactician, Mark Zara. He reads a race and he knows he's...
The Oakley Plate, 1100, gates are back and away they go. Zutori away fairly, Oxley rode out well. Melkovic wants a piece of the action. Marabi broke very fast as well. Melkovic led from Marabi 3/4 of a length away, followed by Jonker. Then Away Game, and out deeper on the track is Wild Ruler. 1.5 lengths away next, Poland Oxley Road, and then came General Bow. Minhaj the Fence, then came Bella Nipotina. 2 further back, Ingratiating and Zutori at the end of the field with Streetcar Stranger. So the leader is Melkovic, tries to fill up the lung runs before the corner, but Marabi's right there. Wild Ruler third, 3 wide, a length away game, followed by Jonker, Oxley Road, Bella Nipotina from Poland, Streetcar Stranger, Ingratiating, Minhaj and Zutori. Marabi moves up and takes Melkovic as they reach the 200 metres, and the mare takes over, then away game and back behind them Oxley Road, but off she goes, 100 to go. Marabi 2 lengths in front of away game, who's flashing at her, but Marabi's holding on and she's got the Group 1. Marabi for Ben Allen has won it from away game in Oxley Road. They were followed by a photo for 4, Poland General Bow, and they were followed by Melkovic, Bella Nipotina, Ingratiating, Minhaj, and back behind those Jonker. Further back then was Wild Ruler, Streetcar Stranger and Zutori.
Tamar Eustace, Quinella in the 140th Oakley Plate, and Marabi is the perfect 7 for 7. And again, it's the Christmas Stakes. Quinella with away game was flashing towards her late, and Ben Allen took more than a couple of glances at the inside screen here at Caulfield to ensure he had the sufficient gap to get home in time. They've run a searing time in this year's edition as well, 1:02.23 as they cross the line. Oxley Road, Malkovich, though. Ben Allen, Group 1 winning jockey. It's got a nice ring to it.
Oh, say it one more time, please. Fire out. Unreal. Yeah, can't explain it.
You've been on the inside just to make sure of it. What was that like?
Yeah, it was unreal. I could see your away game coming. I thought, of course, if there's going to be one horse to beat her, this is the stablemate. But she's tough. The race didn't really pan out how I would have liked to. I probably went a little bit early on her, but she's a mare that can sustain that gallop, and I thought I'd use that to my advantage.
Did you sense?
Build-up of the Oakley Plate has been around Marabi as she yesterday looked to win her first Group 1, stamp herself as a sprinter coming through the ranks, and also perhaps give young jockey Ben Allen his first Group 1. The planets aligned accordingly. Hutch, a perfect 7 for 7, and perhaps the best of her triumphs so far.
Yeah, definitely. Well executed right as well by Benny. We'll talk to him shortly. But the fireworks were on from the early stages, weren't they? With obviously plenty of plays set up. And that's probably where Ben had a big sort of answer in the race. He sort of popped off the leader at this point, sat outside, controlled the tempo, and just had her in a beautiful rhythm.
You see Craig Newitt have that look over the shoulder to the inside. Didn't see Marabi, who was coming up the outside. A bit timely. It was a bit of Roger Bannister, John Landy after the passing of the great John Landy a little bit earlier in the week. Let's enjoy the final stages of Marabi making it a perfect 7 for 7.
Melkovic as they reach the 200 metres, and the mare takes over, then away game and back behind them Oxley Road, but off she goes, 100 to go. Marabi 2 lengths in front of away game, who's flashing at her, but Marabi's holding on and she's got the Group 1. Marabi for Ben Allen has won it from away game in Oxley Road.
What a trajectory it has been for horse and rider. 54 weeks after winning a Pakenham Maiden, Marabi is a Group 1 winner. And Ben Allen is a Group 1 winning jockey. He joins us this Sunday on the wrap. Ben
puts it on, so who knows where the ceiling is for her. She keeps stepping up. I don't know what the team have planned with her now, but yeah, just everywhere she seems to go, she just keeps stepping up. So it's pretty exciting.
Well, Ben, Kieran...
Hey, but he's a jockey.
What a performance away game as well. Fourth in a Blue Diamond this day 2 years ago. She's got the closest to Marabi on 2 occasions now. A Group 1 around the corner for her as Mar Eustace got a Quinella in the Oakley Plate yesterday. The third of the Group 1s.
Now, and they're off and racing. Extravagant Star left well together with Dame Cartlin, and Troach is moving forward. Lady Laguna will park in a very handy position in the white cap, clear from Miss Fabergé. She's Extreme. Further back to from She's Extreme, Fun Sunday, Fireburn. Trendy Lass moving up into a 3-wide position. So the second favourite in the race, Extravagant Star at the 600 metres, leads by a half length to Troach. A length and a half then to Lady Laguna, still staying towards the inside as they prepare to turn for home. Dame Cartlin making hard work of it, and a gap back to Fun Sunday. Miss Fabergé. Extravagant Star swings for home in front. Lady Laguna goes to the inside with Troach the outside, and they're well clear from the rest. Extravagant Star leads at the 250 from Troach. Fireburn starting to pick up. Lady Laguna's putting it as well on the inside, and Miss Fabergé's running on as Fireburn moved up. Takes the lead from Lady Laguna. They beat off Troach and She's Extreme, but Fireburn in front from She's Extreme. Despite the betting drift, Fireburn too good. He's down. Won a out by 3/4 to She's Extreme. Lady Laguna third, then Miss Fabergé doing her best work at the end. Further back to Troach, Fun Sunday, Extravagant Star, compounded in the heavy conditions. Trendy Lass never a factor, and Dame Cartlin was last in.
Well, she just goes from strength to strength, Fireburn, and now she has ticked a very heavy box. She can win on a good, she can win on a heavy. She's beaten a very good bunch of fillies there, and she's been...
Sounds all right, doesn't it?
I tell you what, it was a very wet day that day too. It was actually Slipper to join She Will Reign. He's got the Colts of Jardin to come, but yesterday Fireburn won the Sweet Embrace Stakes, and now Gary's dreaming of winning a slipper with a filly by a horse he trained in Rebel Dane.
Yeah, and she handled the wet well. She's a real line chaser. She knows how to win. She's got a tremendous will to win, and she's put three together now. They run faster time than the Colts on the same day. I'd suggest that she'd probably want a wet slipper. She's Extreme, should have finished closer, has talent for sure. But what do we want to say about the rest of them? Lady Laguna didn't want to go straight, just wanted to hang into the rail there, so that doesn't help you on these heavy tracks when she didn't want to. Fabergé was okay again. These 2-year-old races are hard to read, boys.
Especially on tracks like that, but taking nothing away from the winner,
here on Man in the Mirror. So just a slide holder. Number 9, Man in the Mirror, just having a side winker adjusted. That's the reason for the slight delay. They pretty much stand well, these 2-year-olds. And they're off and racing. They're well into the action here, and going forward, Gemeldi on the outside, a Rise of the Masses, followed by Nolan. Then came further back to Man in the Mirror, and El Padrino's going forward on the outside of Prometa, then Great Siege back on the rails. They're followed further back then by Man in the Mirror on the inside of Sandpaper, Fire and Ice deeper out from Brosnan, Peace Officer, and One Destiny is the last one. Rise of the Masses leads coming to the home turn from Nolan, and Gemeldi deeper out. Prometo going through the middle, followed then by Great Siege. Back towards the inside is Man in the Mirror. El Padrino deeper out, and Brosnan coming down the outside. Rise of the Masses 2 lengths clear from Gemeldi and Prometo, the pair giving chase. Gemeldi on the outside of Prometo. They got to Rise of the Masses, followed then by Man in the Mirror, and Nolan trying to stay on, but Prometo's very strong, the final 50, and Prometo edges clear to beat Rise of the Masses. Gemeldi third, anybody's guess for fourth, El Padrino, Man in the Mirror. Then came Nolan from Peace Officer and Brosnan late. A gap back to Great Siege from Fire and Ice. Further back to Sandpaper, and One Destiny was last in.
Well, Prometo, David Atkins is going to get a golden slipper runner. He's had... Okay, David's not here today. He's in Newcastle, and we just can't track him down there, but we can't have a chat to David Atkins, and I can't see the owner anywhere, Matthew Chidgey. Go to the Skyline Stakes. Prometo for David Atkins. The owner didn't even know whether this horse was nominated for the golden slipper. Here's the Skyline.
Home turn from Nolan.
He's a likeable horse, though. I love what he did at Newcastle. He was big odds there. He chased them down at 900. And to think that he can go 1,200 heavy track and still chase them down, he's certainly a very, very talented horse who's untapped. Don't know if it's going to be a golden slipper this year, but I think his future looks very, very bright. There's no doubt about that. Rise to the Masses, he was tough on pace again. The Queenslanders would have gone home happy. It was worth a shot, and he ran really, really well, Gemeldi there. El Padrino plugged. Man of the Mirror was okay. Your horse Brosnan, quite a long way out. I'd love to see Jacquino come to Sydney. I like him a lot. I think he would have won with more luck in that race, Greg.
And there's the market for the golden slipper. So Coolangatta. Duff, what is the story where...
For the the Guy Walter. The mares are set and they're off and racing. Kiku missed the kick by a length or so, and Ice Bath's drifting back. Vangelic jumped best from Shout the Bar, and Vangelic's a half in front to Shout the Bar. Mirror Vision's poking through, going into third. Forbidden Love is round. Harmony Rose. Forbidden Love will sit leaders back third, followed by Shout the Bar a length further back, or 3/4 to Mirror Vision going through the middle. Promise of Success getting up on the outside of runners. Then Kiku and Ice Bath last, about 6 off the lead. Vangelic held together at the 600 metres, a half to Harmony Rose. Then Forbidden Love from Shout the Bar. Mirror Vision 3 fence from Promise of Success, and McDonald gets going now, and Ice Bath peeling 3 wide and starting a good run coming around the circle. Kiku sat back still last. Around the turn, Vangelic. Clark, like the previous race, hugging the rails, 2 lengths clear from Forbidden Love, who travels up well in second. Then Harmony Rose, 3 further back to Ice Bath as Forbidden Love comes off heels. Put paid to Vangelic at the 200, and they're well clear from the rest. Ice Bath struggling. Promise of Success, Kiku making some headway, but Forbidden Love is roaring away here with the Guy Walter. This is a big win coming up. Forbidden Love by 3 lengths second, Promise of Success. Vangelic third. Ice Bath a labouring fourth. Then Kiku from Mirror Vision, Harmony Rose and Shout the Bar.
12 months to the day, she does it again. Forbidden Love, last year's Surround winner, is this year's Guy Walter winner. $6 and $2 was absolutely bolting for Hugh Bowman. Promise of Success has run home well down the out. Forbidden Love won her last race. She won the Surround, a Group 1, 12 months ago. She came out yesterday and added the Guy Walter to her record.
Well, it'll only give me 12 months before she wins another one. She's a very good mare. She had 58 kilos here, and she was so dominant. She just owned the race. She just trucked up behind Vangelic here, and Bowman had a handful of horse, and she delivered for him. So she was absolutely airborne there yesterday. Promise of Success should have finished much, much closer to her. Her turn is not far off, because when Ice Bath whipped around her before the turn there, he just put him in the no man's land and lost all that momentum, and here he is then held up behind them on their heels. So I thought her performance was excellent, and Vangelic was brave first up. A little flat with Ice Bath, but she's too good to sack off one run, but that was very dominant, wasn't it?
He was never going to get beat, Ronnie. Like, just the way the horse was travelling. Gets over the going really, really well, we know that, but just Huey had a lap full of horse. Just made him look second rate, to be honest. I was a little disappointed with Ice Bath. James tried to put her in the race a little bit early and get her up and get her going, but thought she could have attacked the line a little bit better.
Agree.
Over a mile, Darren Flindell.
He's the last for the running of the Chipping Norton. Sponsored by Tab. The gates opened out. They're off and racing. Montefilia jumped out well together with Think It Over. Colette's handy. Very Elegant's handy. Whiteout Angel of Truth is in no man's land with Mount Popper. Now Dewis is starting to improve on the rail, so the race completely void of any pace. Then She's Ideal from top ranked, and Stockman flops back to last. Angel of Truth out 4 wide on the course and rolls forward here looking for the lead. Colette's going to take a very forward roll on the fence from Montefilia right there, and Think It Over. Nash is just trying to work out how to play this. At the moment, he's got his head in third spot now, just in front of Montefilia. Mount Popper's out deep. Dewis midfield, the rails from She's Ideal, and Very Elegant's 3 wide at this point, but has cover. In a real muddling pace here, top ranked and Stockman are the last 2. At the 800 metres, they've gone halfway. Angel of Truth in front. By 3/4 to Think It Over has got his forward roll. Mount Popper caught a little bit deep. Colette's right there on the fence, followed by Montefilia. Very Elegant just inching closer in a 3 wide position. Further back to Dewis, She's Ideal, Stockman, and the grey top ranked last, but only 5 off the lead. Angel of Truth at the 600 metres leads the Group 1 field around the corner by a half length on Think It Over. Mount Popper and Very Elegant moves up 4 wide. Colette's right there, pinned away on the inside. She just needs a bit of galloping room. Angel of Truth in front from Think It Over, and Very Elegant. She's starting to extend now, and the great mare hits the lead of the 200. Very Elegant, a length on Think It Over is in for the fight. And then came She's Ideal. Colette can't get out. Very Elegant just in front. About a neck in front to She's Ideal, who's looking to rein on the party, but Very Elegant. She's brave. She lifts and she wins her second chipping Norton. Very Elegant fended off the roughie. She's Ideal to win it. Followed then by Think It Over, Montefilia, Angel of Truth in top rank from Dewis. Then came Colette from Mount Popper and Stockman last in.
What a champion she is. That's her 11th career Group 1. For the record, Chris Waller, his Group 1 tally goes to 132. McDonald to 61. And Very Elegant to 11. She fought hard. She dug deep like champions do. And she will be welcomed back by, I'm pleased to say, a crowd that has appeared out of nowhere. The clouds and the rain went away. The crowd came out and they're going to welcome a champion back to the winner's stall here at Royal Randwick in just moments.
And what a champion she is. What a champion she is. She was so adaptable today. She got into a fight there and she come out in front in the fight as well.
Outstanding performance by her.
Yeah, it is. And as you can see, it's touching me a little. No tears, but it's touched me. Just an amazing horse to work with as we're blessed in the position I am to work with these great horses, great people that work behind the scenes.
Come back after a Melbourne Cup and can do that at this distance.
Yeah, it's the second time as well, and yeah, it's just still getting over the Melbourne Cup.
Well, it's yours forever. And as our special guest, let's go to the race before. Here's what Very Elegant did to claim her 11th Group 1 victory of her career.
Yeah, look, it was, well, she just finds a way. She's a champion mare. She finds a way to win. It's as simple as that. It may have been a bunch finish and hard race to read, and it was a perfect ride by McDonald that got her home, but we know that she just keeps improving as the distances are increased, and to think that she's done this second up off a Melbourne Cup win, I think is astonishing. So probably she's not the type of mare that can just blow a field away at this distance, but like I said, she finds a way. She's Ideal was terrific with those blinkers back on. There's some, you know, you can go down the page here. Angel of Truth took hold of the race. You've got Top Rank, who I thought was going to burst through, and unfortunately he's pulled up 3 out of 5 lame, and I thought, well, I don't think too many of us missed Duay's run.
No, it was super. Joshy having to change course at the furlong, come out from out behind him. There's a couple of good runs. Even Colette I thought was quite good. Didn't have a lot of luck in the straight, needed a little bit more room, but yeah, the more you watch the race, the more runs you can find, but taking nothing away from the winner. She's an absolute superstar.
What do you want to ride out of that?
11 Group 1 wins, now equal on the all-time record with Manicato, Lonhro and Rough Habit, and now 4th in the all-time money earnings list. The only ones in front of Very Elegant as far as money earned is Winks and a couple of Everest winners, Red Zell and Nature Strip. She sits 4th. Here's Chris Waller.
You know, where does she sit in the ranks? We'll talk about that on the show. I thought that was a great performance. And just quickly, Very Elegant, I mean, she's got to be in the conversation of the greats at the moment, doesn't she? I mean, 11th Group 1. I think yesterday's was her first repeat Group 1, so that shows her versatility, all distances, conditions. She is just an amazing, amazing racehorse. So there was a lot of highlights yesterday, I thought.
Well, the context to her win was that's the first Melbourne Cup winner since Rain Lover in the late 1960s to return from winning a Melbourne Cup to win a chipping Norton.
Yeah, she's incredible. Her tenacity, her, like I said, her versatility. I mean, she hasn't been, for whatever reason, I don't think she's been in the same sort of conversation. In fact, it wasn't that long ago, a lot of people were sort of questioning, for some reason, you know, was she really a champion, or was she in the, you know, as good as some of the greats? Well, she is, quite simply. I mean, it's just been an incredible career for her.
Simon.
Ready for the Group 1. And they're off and racing. 4 moves ahead, bounded out nicely from the wide draw. Never Been Kissed is showing good speed. Together with Tillium rushing up to second. I'm Divine will park third. Followed by Hinged on the improve from Heresy, and further back to Shahonka. Then came further back in the field to Espiona up on the outside. There is a 4 moves ahead going forward out deep. They're followed further back then just off the speed towards the inside to Tillium. Then came further back to Espiona. So Hope in Your Heart's back behind there, followed by Star Tontos. Larkspur runs deeper out in the white cap. Fangirl's third last from Jamea, and Zuzarella sees them all. Never Been Kissed, a clear-cut leader by 2.5 to Tillium. I'm Divine races to third on the outside of Hinge. Then came Shahonka. Further back then to Heresy. 4 moves ahead, and Sweet Ruby it is back on the inside. Then came Espiona from Larkspur Run. Star Tontes in the pink blinkers on the outside of Hope in Your Heart. Fangirl as well back third last as they straighten up. Never Been Kissed travelling well from Tillium. Hinge goes to third. A couple off then to I'm Divine from Shahonka. 4 moves ahead. Espiona still 6 off them, and a length and a half further back to Fangirl as Hinge moved up now, and Finch takes the lead from Heresy. Star Tontes bursting through Espiona very late. Star Tontes goes after Hinge, then Espiona. Star Tontes and Hinge, stride for stride. Hinged and Star Tontes, they split the line. This is desperately close. Hinged on the inside of Star Tontes, I'm not sure here. Espiona's got up to run third in front of Heresy, Hope in Your Heart, and then came Fangirl. Further back to 4 moves ahead, Never Been Kissed, Gay Ground, then Sweet Ruby, followed by Shahonka from Zuzarella Jamea, then Tillium from I'm Divine, and Larkspur Run. Photo finish.
Very, very tight. Hinged was definitely in front, and Star Tontes might have got its nose down right on the line. It did make a bob. Now, this is a low shot we're going to show you. The 2 Queenslanders fighting it out. Hinged on the inside. Star Tontes a lunge, and Hinged has come back. Here comes the photo. Hinged on the inside has got it. So Chris Waller has trained a Group 1 double. All the talk about Fangirl and Espiona, it's his other horse, Hinged. $11.90 and $3.20. A Group Navdullah. The comeback kid has got a Group 1. What a comeback. He's only been in the saddle a couple of weeks since a very, very serious injury. And Brett Navdullah is going to bring Hinged back, a Group 1 winner.
They're too good a fillies to be treating, you know, the horses on speed with no respect at all. So they'll keep for another day, but this filly has done the job, and she's done it pretty good. And what a day.
Yeah, and well deserved. It was a scary day, the day he fell. And, it just seemed to shiver through my spine. It was the 200-metre mark here at Randwick. And he's an amazing athlete. He's got himself back in good condition. He's the roder on that day, and she said she's come back well. She'll win some good races. And compared to last year, she's put on about 30 kilos. So of the fillies, she's been the big improver in terms of weight. And she ran second in Flight Lakes, so she's just back that form up today.
The day has to be the track. Well, no one expected to be even racing yesterday. 10 inches of rain. We had about an inch on the day, and that's just a no-no at Randwick, especially when they've already started racing, Corey. It was just an unbelievable story.
Held up well.
You've won 10 Group 1s now. Hinged will be very special to you for a long time to come because of that moment yesterday. Let's have a look at the Surround Stakes and take us through your ride from this point in the race.
Yeah, well, basically the plan was from the low draw. If she began that we could just travel in behind the speed, whether it was second pair or third pair, and basically going through her Queensland form, she was sitting outside leader or leading in 13.50s. So I knew with that Queensland speed, if she began there yesterday, that she'd obviously hold a spot. And I just gave myself a few strides. I sort of lingered back behind sort of Tom Sherry's mount just for a few strides while I was waiting to see if anything went forward. And I obviously knew there was a couple there that could press forward from out wide, but when I just seen Gaze 2 go across, well, I knew they were going to get there and pull up. They weren't going to take each other on, so I just let her slide a pair closer, and she ended up having a beautiful run in transit. When the speed went on from before the bend, she was able to get out, and then it was just a fine line of trying to get the timing right. I wanted to be sort of
She was coming to beat you, Startontes. I thought she was coming to beat you. You're fully lifted.
Well, I thought at the furlong, you know, I was a winner. And then I just saw this little flash of pink, and I just thought it was, you know, Fangirl, and it came at me really quick. But whether just on that ground, she peaked the other filly, and obviously my filly probably lifted too. You know, she feels like she'll eat up a mile and a quarter, and obviously handled the conditions and had such an economical run that you know, she was always going to be strong.
Yeah, it's hard to sort of gauge this field when we're working on heavy tens as far as the future's concerned, but I thought Espiona was still okay. She's still trying to work out what her best distance is going to be. Fangirl, I think, was terrific for further, Corey. She looks a miler.
Yeah, I think the barrier beat her as well, Ronnie. Like, she got way too far back out of her ground.
Yeah.
Espiona, if you watch from the top of the straight, she's trying to get there, but the wheels were spinning. She was sort of running herself off balance. But yeah, they were two great runs of the race. But I think Fangirl, I just think because of the barrier, she had to go that 2 pairs back further, 2 pairs too far back.
Hope of Your Heart was an eye catcher as far as the long, I mean, a little sneaky Oaks chance the way she hit the line. Kerry Parker's filly there, I thought she looks a real stayer. Greg?